let's go. We're
Next one.
It's Yaiba coming up. All right, Yaiba, Samurai Legend. So this is a work that's been adapted from a 1980s manga. Also by the name of
I
Yaiba.
can see that.
Very old style, as you can kind of tell initially, and some interesting stuff about that. So Studio Wit, known for a bunch of really good stuff. Of course, one being Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeon, as well as doing Attack on Titan, the first few seasons of Attack on Titan.
Wow. Yeah.
They are legends in the industry. So Studio Wit, whatever they touch is usually really good. Director is Hasui Takehiro, and they are the Mob Psycho Season 3 director.
Oh shit.
So, and holy shit, even just seeing that again, I'm like, yeah, like watching this episode, holy shit, yeah, like he's working. All right, writer is Gosho Aoyama, who is the Detective Conan author. And it is the same, of course, it's the author and art style of Detective Conan. The main voice of our character, of our main character, his name is Yaiba, he's Conan. He's voiced by Conan. Same woman that does that.
That's interesting.
Him.
Takayama Minami.
Yes. So yeah, I guess we'll get the blurb.
Yeah,
We'll get right into it.
Okay. Upon enrolling in school, Yaiba quickly crosses swords with his soon-to-be rival Onimaru. When Onimaru is transformed into a demon by the cursed power of Fujinken, the wind god's sword, Yaiba embarks on a quest to Mount Tengu to find his own enchanted sword. But Yaiba lacks the skills and knowledge to use such a powerful weapon. If he can't control himself, it will control him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I have a completely different blurb over here.
Oh,
actually.
Anything different then?
Yeah, it's really different. Like, my blurb
Is it spoilery?
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
It's
go ahead.
actually
Sorry.
like way less spoilery than that one was. It says, I think it was off Mal.
Okay.
Was the protagonist, Kurogane Yaiba, is a samurai wild child who trains in the jungle with his father, Kenjiro.
Okay.
By a twist of fate, the determined samurai, Yaiba, returns to Japan and encounters his rival, Onimaru Takeshi. Yaiba, who lives for serious battles, embarks on a spectacular adventure when Onimaru obtains the legendary demon sword.
Okay, that felt a little more...
That was episode 1,
that was episode
up
1.
the alley of, like, I guess, like, explaining what kind of show this is. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you guys think?
To be honest,
Yeah?
I didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't like it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just like, this is not for me.
God, I love this. I love this show.
I am not the show's target audience. I'm going to say that straight out.
That's fair. I mean, that's fine to admit. I mean, like, it's, it might not be for everyone. Immediately, so as someone who's a long-time, like, Dragon Ball fan, like, maybe not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball, like, of Goku, and, like, him being, like, this wild child himself in the jungle, fighting his way to, like, beating the crap out of wild animals and, like, wanting to fight everyone. This felt like very much kind of the same plot, but... God, this was a delight to go through. It was a very, very fun, classic shonen that just, like, nothing was wasted. Literally no time was wasted. It was just bam, 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 bam.
True.
Maybe the only thing I'd have as a complaint is just Yaiba himself is a little, like, too straightforward as, like, a kid character.
For me, he's so annoying.
He is annoying.
He
is annoying.
I can't read social cues.
I find it so endearing, though.
It is endearing, though, because, like, he is literally he's a wild child. He's crazy.
And it's, like, the whole, like, oh, this is a girl? And he's not weird about it. He's just genuinely curious.
Yeah.
And then he crosses some boundaries that he doesn't know about yet.
He doesn't know about him. Yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of, Goku does the same kind of thing where he's just like, why don't you have a pee-pee? Or something like that.
See, that's
Which,
the thing.
granted, at least, I guess there's a part where I'm like, I feel like Goku isn't, like, all over me. He's just like, oh, that's weird, and then moves on. But anyway.
That's the other thing. Like, have you
silly.
guys, I know you've watched Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I've read
Kringle.
through.
So have you seen Dragon Ball, Krispy?
I used to watch it when I was little with my brother, but it wasn't like, I never watched it episode to episode.
Yeah.
It was just on
that's the thing.
Toonami.
I have never seen Dragon Ball. Ever. None of it.
Okay.
So this is completely fresh to me. I looked at it and went, this is Dragon Ball. Like, this is so Dragon Ball coded. Like, the animation, I feel, is a lot like that. But I honestly,
we'll get to that,
his characterization, like, Yaiba's characterization is done really well. But I hate it.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I guess, like, acknowledge, you can acknowledge that the character is what
really
it is.
Well,
like,
and that's why I hate it.
It's very clearly conveyed as this type of character that, like, if you don't like that, then it's probably gonna turn you off from it.
I loved that. I didn't read anything about this before I watched it, so I only
Neither.
knew about the first episode until I just read this blurb.
Oh, okay.
I was after the first episode, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a slice of life kind of thing.
Oh, really?
For Yaiba in this this middle school.
The first like scene is like him fighting like as gods.
Yeah, but now it's basically like a reverse isekai kind of thing. It's like he's being taken from the jungle and now he has to like
I see.
He has to
fish
live
out of water.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it really the first episode really gives you feelings of slice of life where he, as you said, where he goes from like jungle to city.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
really gives that kind of adjusting to city life.
I like
feeling.
I guess like I could see that. I think the thing is like I guess having watched all these shows, especially like as a kid, watching these types of shows of like the progression up from like the lowly hero all the way to like becoming like the strongest, like immediately the OP like tells you what the entire season is going to be, which is like he has to fight like harder and harder lieutenants of Onimaru to eventually get to the top and fight him at the pinnacle. So I think it was more of like, I mean, I guess he is going to enroll. Maybe there is a slice of life element. I guess there's this part, though, where I'm thinking it's going to be like a big journey he goes on, like around the world or something, and he just kind of happens to start in school, which makes for funny comedy. Like there's evil. Like I love what's her name again? The
Sayaka.
Sayaka. I love that she's like, I'm going to tease him and say there's like he's evil, crazy monsters
cute.
there. Which, ironically, she is actually correct. Onimaru is a lot better than Yaiba. So
I actually kind of enjoyed it when he got humbled.
Yeah, he needed it. God, he needed it. So,
but what I was getting at is, I wasn't really about I was more interested in like the jungle setting, and then they moved to Japan. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like this is getting boring.
Which
now.
I thought was really funny.
But box of bananas. I appreciated the focus on Kendall. I feel like there's not a lot of anime that talks about like the intricacies of Kendall, and it's like how he doesn't really follow the typical Deigi, like the formalities of Kendall.
Yeah, the discipline.
And they're all like, what the hell is he doing? But he's just like a wild child.
And then like he kind of said, like it's nice. Azumi kind of mentioned it's nice that he got humbled because it was like that was kind of up until then it was kind of like him essentially showing how insane he is.
Yeah,
that, like it doesn't discipline did not matter at all in this. Whereas like now he came up against someone who's probably as strong as him. I mean, probably stronger than him, but like he has the discipline.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it's the great.
I think it's a really nice basis for a learning curve.
Well, it's a catalyst. Yeah,
it's
like a good catalyst to make him be like, okay, maybe I should respect how to do this.
And like teaching him that there are still more things to learn.
Yeah, I understand. So I think it's a great start as like a protagonist that is innately talented to a degree, or at least has had like an experience of being talented working at this, that there's a lot for him to still grow in. He's not just OP from the get-go. But God, the art style,
it's so beautiful.
Oh my God, like the shots, the art style, the mood, just the fluidity and the like the just like I don't know, the just expression of all these characters feels like so immediately readable as it comes to you, and it's like, oh God, it's a beautiful show. Oh my God,
it's so good.
Panel to panel, nothing like missed. So I don't know. I mean, it's a really good show. Very well produced. I 100% will be watching more of it. And it gives me a Saturday morning cartoon vibes.
It's because of the Dragon Ball.
It's right. Yeah, obviously. I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah. But like, it just matches that perfect. I mean,
no,
in some
I'll
ways
grant
it does
you
it better than
Saturday
Dragon
morning
Ball.
cartoon vibes.
And sometimes it does it better than Dragon Ball. I mean, if you watch some of the old Dragon Ball episodes, they're not great. Yeah, I don't know. It's good. Any other thoughts? I feel like I should have more to say.
One of the other notes I have is just like a little dot point of, I feel a few Momotaro vibes. Because of all the animal characterization of a bit of it.
Yeah.
I was feeling a little Momotaro, but...
Yeah, I love the animals. They're so silly.
Yeah, I love, let me see, let's see. Oh, I love the tiger.
I know.
The tiger was so
The backstory.
The backstory that he like wanted to eat him, and then like I guess he was drowning, so he's making like more fish.
Yaiba like hit him with the stick by accident.
By accident, yeah. And then he's like drowned. I don't know. It's just a very goofy
coincidentally becomes king of the jungle because he hits a tiger in the right spot at the right time.
Just the beginning scene was so goofy.
Oh, yeah.
Like the tiger in the background. There's like our friend our friend Vulture dude. While we fight the monkeys and the gorillas and stuff.
That was where I got the Momotaro vibes from.
Yeah.
It was like monkeys, tiger, and like all these animals.
Where's our Where is he?
Well, he was in the jungle, and he was like, "Oh no,
we need him back."
He's probably gonna.
He was in the opening.
Well, he was in the opening. I'm sure he's because he followed him probably all the way from the jungle, wherever that is, from where the bananas were.
That's his name.
What is his name?
Shonosuke.
Maybe Shonosuke will fly his way back, and he'll come at the perfect moment to save a protagonist.
Well, probably.
I do want to mention a couple things. Yaiba was straight up down with cannibalism. He was about to eat a man. He was about.
When was this?
He beat that first kendo dude.
Oh, and then he tied him up.
And he's just like, "That's the rule of the jungle. You eat what you kill."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, all right."
Oh my
Yaiba's
God.
just down for cannibalism.
Yeah, okay, cannibalism. Okay.
That was not what I was expecting. I did like that little bit though. He's like, "I'm a man of the jungle. I'm a boy of the jungle, I should say." And I also put bro ate a ball of natto at breakfast. He just literally took a whole ball of natto and shoved it in his mouth. And I did slightly gag.
Yeah.
Well, when the thing I remember,
I love that characterization.
The thing
He
I
just
remember
eats
from the
it.
breakfast scene is him stealing. What's her name?
Sayaka's.
Sayaka's a fish, and he's just like, "Oh, it's the rule of the jungle, baby."
Yeah.
You better eat faster.
So it was good, and I like Sayaka's character. I thought she was a good like contrast, and I like that she does kendo. She's like I love I'm doing kendo. I'm following with my family's footsteps a little bit, but I don't know. She's got her own kind of thing. She does.
She's a very well fleshed out kind of decent character in her own right.
Yes,
which is nice.
I also want to mention, so Onimaru is voiced by Aosoya Yoshimaru, and he does Rainer from Attack on Titan.
Really?
He also does Orga from Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, I should mention. He's very good. I love this show. Oh, did you know that Conan, who is also Yaiba, voices Envy in FMA?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
So
awesome.
that was just a random aside that I just saw. That I was like, whoa, that's sick.
Yeah, okay.
And I totally see it. I'm like, 100%. Anyway, really great show. I guess scores. What do you think?
I gave it an 8 out of 10. This is just based off the first episode. I'm sure if I kept watching, it would like go up, honestly, because I just have high expectations for it. But based on the first episode, there were moments that it was a little slow for me, so that brought it down a little bit, but still 8 out of 10.
What would you think?
Look.
I mean, again, it's not. You said it's not for you.
Yeah, this
Makes
is
sense.
this is not for me, and I honestly think this show is more suited for kids, to be honest, like a shonen power.
It is
fantasy.
very much more of a kid show, but
and like that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
but this
what it
isn't,
is.
as I said, this isn't my type of show. So I would actually probably rate this a 6.
Okay, yeah.
Just because it's very decent, very solid animation and everything else, but I just don't like it.
And I will admit, Yaiba's probably not going to be very different throughout the course of the show. So if you do not like Yaiba, I will say that is probably the thing that will probably sell you on the show or not. Is if you can be endeared to him.
What do you think?
So I actually agree with Krispy here, where I gave it like a good 8, and I feel like with time it can get itself to a 9. I feel like just thinking about the production and how good the show is produced, I do want to just give it a 9 as a first episode, especially because we're introduced to so many characters. They're all conveyed quite clearly as what kind of people they are, and it's all done so in like a very snappy, like well-paced first episode that I feel like wraps up exactly what you would expect going into this show. That I really do want to give it a 9. I think it is a 9 in that case. So I will give it a 9.
Do it.
But I do have a feeling that if it slows down or it falls into some of the very typical tropes of its genre, it might go down a little bit. But I couldn't see the production going below an 8.
It speeding up.
Speeding up,
I see it like getting more intense.
Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Would we recommend?
100%.
I would recommend this to people who like Dragon Ball.
Yeah. If you love Dragon Ball,
or Conan,
and like really, if you're just looking for like. If you just want a show, I feel that like respects your time, where like shit is like moving along. We're getting to new characters, and it's in a classic sort of way that feels like if you're kind of like wanting that sort of Saturday morning cartoon vibe, I don't know. Yeah, pick it up. It's I don't know. It's good. Yeah, it's very good.
Awesome. Also, one more thing. Yeah. If you just like sick fight scenes, like
oh my god, yeah, it was so good. Very like really great like fighting choreography too for what they were producing there. So yeah, okay. Well, glowing reviews there. Let's get to our next one.
Yeah. Let's see what we've got next.
All right, we only got 8 to go.
8 to go, yay!
My God, we only got 1/5 to go. All right, we got
Ningoro.
Koroshiya.
Ningoro.
Kill shop or whatever. Ninja.
A
This is-
ninja and an assassin under one roof.
Yeah. What number was this?
Number 2.
This was number 2.
We got to number 2.
That actually is crazy. I didn't think it was that early.
Yeah,
I forgot
that's
it was that
really
early.
early.
Ninja.
Ninja.
All right. A ninja and an assassin under one roof, or shortened as Ninkoro. So, studio is Shaft.
I did not realize that.
Studio Shaft, they've done everything. They've done Monogatari series. They've done March Comes In Like a Lion. They've done Madoka.
Yep.
They've also done Nisekoi, which all of those are very well known for like extremely interesting director sort of stuff. And of course, we're gonna see that because the director is Miyamoto Yukihiro, who is the Madoka director, as well as the director for Monster and Monogatari.
Yeah, okay.
He's a Shaft. He's a Shaft.
Yeah.
He's a Shaft, longtime
seemingly
Shaft
very
director.
accomplished, yeah.
The writer is under the name of 100 Burger, who I did not notice any other particular works of.
100 Burger.
100 Burger.
Oh my god.
Very mysterious, honestly. But yeah, let's get that blurb.
Yes, okay, so our blurb. Satoko Kusagakure, a female ninja who left her village with her comrades, finds herself living with Konoha as a high school girl working as an assassin in the city. Satoko possesses the ability to transform objects using ninjutsu, which catches Konoha's attention. They strike a deal. Konoha provides Satoko with a place to live in exchange for Satoko's help in cleaning up after her assassination jobs. As they face off against assassins sent by Satoko's village, indulge in delicious meals using money earned from assassination jobs, and navigate the chaos of their unusual living situation, the story captures the heartwarming yet chaotic lives of these two unlikely roommates. So,
This show is crazy.
It was crazy.
Crazy.
This show is nuts.
It was crazy, but I liked it.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was
fun.
it was goofy and like it's not a show you take seriously at all.
Oh,
obviously.
no, you do not take this show seriously
but it's
at
like
all.
it's so goofy.
It
It's
is so goofy.
Almost to the point that I feel like I like didn't really care what happened at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, like, shit just happens.
start killing-
Yeah, they're just
Any
killing
new character
people.
introduced.
Is murdered like in 10 seconds flat. So I want to say first, the OP is super fun.
Yeah.
I love the OP.
It's spunky.
It
Very
is really-
spunky little
yeah.
OP. And yeah, the beginning sequence
That was
so
awesome.
cool.
That was
Yeah.
so
It was like
cool.
it was like
Yeah.
straight 70s style,
It
like
was.
action anime.
Yeah.
Oh, I love.
I actually watched the
love
opening
that.
sequence, and I actually had to check that I was on the right like page, like the right, the right page for it, because I was just like, wait a second, have I accidentally clicked on something which was released like 30 years ago?
Yeah. Like,
That was I loved
Yeah,
that.
that was awesome.
That was so cool. So like I loved and just the style of like shots and just like the pacing. I feel like is a
Oh,
big thing.
yeah.
The
Pacing's really
pacing of
good.
shots was very funny and like punchy. What are you guys' general thoughts?
I was super obsessed with the animation and the art style.
Yeah.
There were some, I guess, particularly Satoko's design is kind of like not my thing. It's a little too like.
And Satoko's the glass
She's the ninja.
assassin girl. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I see
like
what you mean.
pastel purple and orange. It's kind of just like glaring, but that's also like a point in the show that the assassin is like, don't you kind of like stand out?
Yeah, they're just like, look at that lady, so cringe. She's
Look,
so
she's
it's like
wearing a
dressing
ninja
up.
costume.
It's
Yeah.
like very bright, loud character designs, which like sometimes is cute and endearing, sometimes is a little over the top.
Would you say that the case with the other ninja girls they seem to showcase?
They're all like so over the top.
Oh, so
They're
over the,
very
top,
over the top,
but then
yeah.
they get killed in
Then they
2
get
seconds,
killed
so it doesn't matter.
immediately. I love that. So I want to say that our ninja girl is like very. Her power is OP.
I
It's
know.
fucking, right? She
OP.
could turn anything into leaves. Couldn't she just kill
Yeah,
anyone?
she could just kill
She
someone.
could just like touch them and turn leaves. That's insane, but I do think it's hilarious that when she turns them into leaves, they just become a color. That's their
color,
hair
yeah.
color.
Yeah.
So they
Or
just
their
become, like,
clothes.
so if they have
Yeah.
purple hair, it's like purple leaves they
Yeah.
become, or like it's so fun.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's overpowered. But yeah, I guess the design wise, definitely a little like cutesy and a bit garish.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, design wise,
But
it is a little bit garish, but it's also nice. I think.
But it's
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah, it's
a
not-
main
it's not bad.
like
Yeah.
it's not a complaint. It's
Yeah.
just like a observation.
I would say that it adds to like the fact that it is like so brutally violent.
Oh, yeah.
It's so conceptually violent. I
It
would
is,
say
it is, it
like,
is really conceptually violent because it's just like you've got these like really, really, really dark things going on,
Yeah.
and then it's just like the characters just gloss over them, which makes it all the more funny.
Yeah.
So one, like, the ninja girl is just like okay with the fact that like she met an assassin that murders people because she's like, oh yeah, we were trained to do that too. But also the fact that the assassin's just like, oh, by the way, there's like a review site. There's a fucking review site for murdering people, and I'm trying to get to the top. And not a beat skip. She just says, okay, I'll help you. Like, it's insane. What is this world?
The plain kind of just like, okay, that's just how this world works. Is just another layer of just like, what the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck is this place?
Like, as a viewer, you're just like, huh? But everyone else is just like, yeah, this is normal.
Yeah, not a beat skip.
Yeah.
I think that concept is fun. Like, she has to make her way up the ladder.
Yeah.
There was one kill. I think it was the last one or something, but the ninja girl was like, oh, Konoha-chan, like you're really scary and brutal or something, and then she immediately turns the corpse into leaves, and Konoha's like, I think you're a little scary.
Yeah, no, I love that bit.
She's like, I think you're more
I love that.
That's kind of more terrifying.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I love, and their dynamic is pretty fun.
Oh, yeah,
Immediately, like when sorry, the names with so Konoha is
the
assassin.
The assassin. Okay, and who's the one with the glasses?
Satoko.
No. Konoha has the glasses. She's the assassin.
Oh, Konoha.
Yeah.
Who's the
Satoko is the ninja.
Okay, it's the Satoko is the ninja.
Satoko is the ninja.
Konoha's the glasses girl.
Yes.
See, I'm just really bad with names.
Yes.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and I've already forgotten them. So
Just say the assassin.
the assassin girl, when she meets the ninja girl, is immediately like, I don't know who you are. Like, get away from me. Or when she even brings her to like one of the a Gusto or something, a random store. She's just like, oh well, I only brought you here because I don't have to pay for you. You can just get the free rice and stew.
Yeah. But she eats all her food.
But she eats all her food first before even telling her.
Yeah.
It's a very funny dynamic.
I love those little quirky, the quirky kind of joke vibes which are going on with that. Like because Satoko doesn't understand, like she doesn't quite understand a lot of what's going on. So she's working off Konoha's cues, of which Konoha doesn't really give any cues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she doesn't give any cues.
So it's really funny.
But I also like that, like, there's this sort of weird reverse girl failure, like, concept going on with our ninja girl.
Yeah.
Like, she both can do a bunch of stuff, but, like, she just doesn't know what direction she's even going in.
Yeah, no,
just
that's
incredibly confused.
Yeah, she's just confused and starving in the street. So I found that very endearing as a fun character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like their chemistry.
I really like that too. I'm really curious about how they'll end up living together, because I feel like it could be one of those things where they could end up fine, or they could end up being at each other's throats. Particularly Konoha, because it seems like Satoko would just be oblivious to any problems, and Konoha would just be getting angrier and angrier and angrier kind of thing. But it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works out.
I feel like there's this element where Konoha would never really get too mad because the ninja girl just doesn't know what's going. Like, there's no intention behind her annoying the other person. But
also Konoha's very emotionless.
She's very she just actually is not feeling the emotions at all. Which makes her good at her job.
Yeah, it really does.
Which, by the way, there was definitely a moment where I was like, "What the fuck?" Where they met this friend of theirs at school, and then they're immediately "Okay, we got a new job. It's that girl's dad."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
And then after they kill him, the show is it was a relative that was the client,
which I totally believe. Which I honestly believe is the girl.
Was her? Oh my god!
I think it was the girl. No, that's my theory. That's my headcanon.
I absolutely loved that bit because it was just okay. It just makes it more insane.
Well, it makes it more oh my god, yeah, Konoha is just willing to murder anyone and anything for this this sort of ranking thing. It was really good. I really liked it. Yeah, I just thought this was a nightmare hellscape of a world to live in.
Basically.
Nightmare hellscape of a world to live in. But it was a cute slice of life about murdering for profit and fame.
Exactly what we need.
It's exactly what we need in this.
I also want to mention that Konoha is voiced by Hanazawa Kana.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, God, she's been working a lot.
I know. She sings the opening, and then the ending is by Honeyworks with Hakoniwa Lily, and they've done I don't know 6 theme songs this season. Honeyworks with Hakoniwa Lily. But Honeyworks is a Vocaloid producer, so I was really excited to see that.
Jeez. Really just great production all around, I thought. I don't really have, I guess, a lot extra to say.
Okay, well, let's move on to ratings.
Ratings. What did you guys rate it?
I had 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
Yeah,
7 out of 10.
it was really fun.
I literally gave it 7 out of 10
7.
too. I think
Oh,
it's the
shit.
first time we've all agreed on the same score.
Yeah. Would we recommend it?
Yeah, I'd
for
recommend
sure.
it.
Yes, I would definitely recommend
if
it.
you're not, I guess don't get attached to any of the characters.
Yeah,
They will literally become a pile of leaves very soon.
Don't get attached to anyone, and just to keep an open mind about dark themes. But everyone turns into leaves. So
sometimes
it's all
murder
hunky-dory.
is cool and based.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
Yes.
But yeah.
Wink, wink. Next, let's go. Next one.
Okay, next one.
Oh my god.
Bird up.
Okay.
Food for the Soul, or known as Hibimeshi. The studio is PA Works. They've done a ton, like a ridiculous amount of stuff. But yeah, so PA Works, they're known for a lot of different things. The director is Kawatsura Shinya. They're the director of Durarara, Barakamon, and Blue Exorcist.
Okay.
And the creator is Atto. They are known for creating Non Non Biori and High School Fleet. So yeah, let's get that blurb.
Yeah.
Okay, very short. An original animation about the daily life of 5 girls who just became university students. They love delicious food, want to have lots of fun with everyone, and study a little harder to enjoy university life to the fullest. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
I have one comment off the bat.
Yeah.
What kind of Japanese university student has an apartment like that? She has a massive apartment.
She has a
She has
nice
a big apartment.
She has a very nice apartment.
I'm getting intense community college vibes from this one. This doesn't feel like a university or anything. It's sort of just like granted, it's our main character. She's sort of just going to school and then just going immediately back home. So I don't know, just intense community college vibes. I don't know how to describe that.
I actually get Japanese university vibes.
Yeah, from what I've heard,
Really?
that's a typical Japanese university life.
Okay. Well, community college vibes, like American community college vibes, I guess what I'm saying. Where you hardly meet anyone and you just kind of go to the school.
That gives me...
You get mixed connections.
No,
it's
but
just,
see,
it's not going to be...
Actually really
She's just
funny.
antisocial.
That's actually
That's
really
the thing,
funny. Like, if you take the club part out of it, even if you leave the club aspect in, it gives me very strong Japanese or Australian university vibes.
I see.
Yeah. I remember when I was in college, we had some exchange students from Japan come to our university in America. And they came to our school and they were like, what is going on here? Like, this place is gigantic. There's so many people everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking of. I mean, I went to community college for a bit, so like there was definitely that element of like you're just kind of going to this class and then going home. I mean, you might I met people there, but like it wasn't. I guess what I'm trying to say is like definitely very low key kind of college.
Oh yeah,
very low key.
I have to admit, like a lot of universities like that too. Like especially if it's not like
that
Japanese
too.
university, I think is structured a lot more around like specific times and classes and that sort of thing. Like bell. I think there is a bell system. I think like Japanese schools have. You know, there's bing bong bang bong kind of thing in a lot of anime and that sort of stuff. It's very similar to Australian university where you your lecture block is like from this time to this time. You turn up and you go home. Like that's literally what it's like.
Yeah.
So,
which I guess like doesn't help for someone who has issues connecting with people or
No,
has
it
problems connecting
really
with people.
doesn't.
Like and I think like it's kind of I guess that's what I'm kind of getting at. I guess is that it's like it's sort of hard to connect with people in an environment like that. Which like I guess luckily for the main character, she's able to find. Some people.
which is really nice.
She connects with that she knew.
Anyway, so
Yeah, sorry.
Let's get back to the
into
anime.
it.
I have to say, I'm kind of not surprised the author did Non Non Biori, which I was
Okay.
kind of bored with, but it was
Yeah.
also like really cute,
Yeah, it was cute. Yeah.
which was kind of my experience here. I wouldn't say I was bored, but it's just like the slice of life aspect. It was just slow.
It is a slow burn. Well, yeah, I agree with you in that I don't feel like it was definitely taking its time. Let's just say that. It was definitely taking its time to try to establish this character as someone who has some trouble like going out and doing new things that she wants. So and I did relate with the fact where like the idea of like going like there was a moment where she's like, I don't want to go in here. This place looks like anxious to even get into. It's like a small like bar kind of setup,
Right.
or there's like a good amount of people. It's like it would be impossible not to have to talk to someone. There's this like I guess bit of me, this small part of me where I'm like, I do get that. That's very relatable, and I feel like if someone who's has a lot of social anxiety, this might be a very nice character to like relate with, and maybe it could be a good character to be like, hey, like she's going out there doing these things. Maybe it's a good
very
message
sweet.
there.
The food looked so yummy.
Yeah, that katsu looked so good.
And how did they translate it? Raw omurice?
Oh, yeah.
Or non-cooked.
Yeah.
Something like
omurice.
that.
That looks so
non-cooked omurice. That did not look good. I hate raw.
You don't like raw
I hate raw eggs. That did not look good.
Look,
but
I understand where you're coming from, but it still looked delicious.
They certainly, did a good job of making it look good. I think the funny thing is that like, I guess I wasn't getting vibes that they were going to be cooking at all. Other than that
Did you watch
scene,
past the ending? There was an extra scene at the end.
Was the extra scene where they were like, "Oh, we're not going to actually have this." Like, oh, they're like, oh yeah, I just signed us up for this club because I just want to hang out.
Yeah,
in this giant house.
Yeah,
like there's no other club using
this place. They have a room in there.
Okay. So like there's a
they have a room in the old university.
Well, no, there's not a cooking room.
No,
she just wanted a room.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay, there's a cooking research club. They don't get. I guess,
at the end of it, it's just like there's a very much a.
Like
you
what?
guys didn't come here to cook?
Yeah.
You just made up this name.
Which also,
you're fucking with me.
Which does kind of immediately, like, if I had an interest in this sort of cooking show vibe, I would have immediately lost a lot of interest.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's this part of me where I'm like, if you're going to do Food for the Soul, the title is literally Food for the Soul, I'm going to imagine that these students, at least initially, have some basic understanding of, like, cooking and doing stuff that like they would be doing a lot of like fun experimenting, but the fact that it's like they're all, except maybe for the main girl, are like extreme amateurs that maybe don't know anything about food.
I see where you're coming from.
They're going to be stumbling into like the early stages, which might not be very interesting.
I see where you're coming from, but I feel like a lot of people have like basic cooking experience, like and like a lot of dishes, even if they have like tons of steps or whatever, it's generally like a bunch of simple things strung together, I think. And I think with this thing, it's like from what I've gleaned from the first episode, basically, I think what we're going to see is them kind of going, okay, let's actually just try cooking because this is our club. This is the club name, or maybe they'll get shoehorned into it.
I think it's going to be a thing that they follow the recipes of that little yellow creature.
Oh yeah, that weird egg, that cursed egg man.
Yeah.
The cursed egg man. Yeah.
I guess what I'll say is that I think if you're going into this expecting British Bake Off, expect TikTok hangover hacks.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's going to be kind of the difference here. You're not really going to get, I think, interesting stuff. I have to
say is fitting for the college experience.
It is.
That is true. And actually, if they leaned more than that, then I could actually kind of see that being interesting. Yeah. I guess nothing in the first episode suggests it will.
I feel like we're gonna just based on the first episode, I feel like we're gonna see them getting like learning how to cook and learning how to cook different dishes and them getting into cooking. I feel like that's where the show's kind of going. Yeah. Which could be really, really cool.
Yes.
There was also a point when the three girls who were trying to form a club at first. After they talked to the staff or whatever and were rejected, they're like, oh, let's go eat our bentos. And, you know, they're talking about being the cooking research club. And I was like, oh, I'm like excited to see their bentos. And then they pull it out and it's like konbini food. And, and I was like, wait a second.
Which I guess does give you the hints that they're not at all cooks.
Yeah, like isn't it like the three of them have konbini bentos and like our main girl, she's the only one.
She's the only one who's like makes her own bentos. She definitely likes food. Like her cooking, I should say. Yeah, I guess it's funny how they kind of do that. I just also want to mention that I do like the level of awkwardness in this show. I feel like a lot of shows these days love to go for like extreme social anxiety, which isn't bad. I think that can be fun, but I feel like this is a lot more relatable. In social awkwardness.
I agree.
Like, oh, did I say the right thing, or did I? Oh shit, I didn't ask them for like their contact info.
Like, was I being
so weird?
Relatable.
Was I being weird when I called her by that name I had as a kid? So like, I really liked that. I don't feel like there will be as much more of that
because they're gonna be friends.
Just because they'll be friends now and it'll be easy. So maybe that was just an initial hook, initially getting into it.
I think she's gonna turn into a drill sergeant about cooking with these people.
She might, yeah.
That's probably gonna be a fun like character change. She's gonna be like, "What are you guys doing? You're idiots." Because I don't think she reacted when they didn't include her reaction.
She
at
did.
The end.
She's like, "You're saying this isn't the cooking club?"
Yeah,
she looked like she was about to like.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to add in?
Not really.
Okay.
So what do we think?
Yeah, I said 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's a solid 7.
It's a solid 7. Like I feel like if I watched through it, maybe it'd go down, maybe it'd go up. I don't know.
At the moment, it's a pretty solid start to like a new experiences. It's almost iyashike.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, true. I was gonna say sort of like a healing,
which is really
anime
nice.
kind of thing.
Especially for like I said, new experiences just a second ago, but like overcoming fears of new experiences.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
I
true.
thought it was a super cozy, cute vibe of her going to get the katsudon and kind of like
I think it also
getting
kind of
to know people.
Yeah, and
or
it showed that like her experience. She was just like, oh my god, I don't think I can do this, and then she gets helped to do it, and then she finds out, okay, this is actually really fun.
Yeah,
exactly. I like that.
Despite the fact that the store runs out of katsu for the second time.
Oh my god.
And then she ends up eating the katsu which was reserved for her friend.
Yeah. And
which is like,
oh, that's sweet.
That's sweet. It's sweet. It adds a level of social awkwardness where it's like, should I be accepting this? But it's also just really sweet.
Interesting. I mean, I think it was like a cute gesture to kind of be like, things can work out sometimes for you, for trying out new experiences.
Yeah. Okay, would we recommend this?
Oh, wait, I give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get it. I could honestly put it either 6 or 7. But yeah, what do you think, Azumi?
Yeah,
sorry. I didn't know if you had more thoughts.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I'd recommend it if we were going back to
I would recommend it, yeah. It's a good, like, iyashike kind of healing type kind of anime with about, like, it's like cooking or whatever. It's just really nice.
What was your score again?
7.
Oh, 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, nice stuff there. Let's get to the next one.
Yeah, let's get to the next one. What do we have next?
All right, let's see.
Ooh,
Your Forma.
Your Forma. Okay, this is one of the last ones. It's literally number 41.
Yeah, holy crap. What's going to be the last one is the big question.
That is the big question.
What is going to be the last Forma. One? All right, so let's see. Your Forma studio is Geno Studio. The only real notable work I noticed from them was that they do Golden Kamui.
Okay.
Which
wow.
that show's production is spotty at times, is what I'll say. Director is Kikuishi Mareho. Kikuishi Mareho. I've never heard either of those names before. They are the director of Goblin Slayer and Shumatsu Yoko Girls, or Last Girls Last Tour.
Okay.
Which I love that show. Girls Last Tour is so good.
I've never heard of it.
It's like an apocalyptic. Two girls just kind of making their way through like an apocalyptic snow world.
Nice.
It's great. Anyway, highly recommend that. Do not recommend Goblin Slayer. So complete opposite sides of the table there. Anyway, writer is Ozaki Takaharu, and I didn't see any other notable works. So let's get that blurb.
Okay. In an alternate 2023, the Your Forma, a miraculous smart thread technology initially developed to treat a massive outbreak of viral encephalitis, has become an integral part of daily life. But these convenient devices come with an invasive drawback. They record every sight, sound, and even emotion their users experience. For electronic investigator Echika Hieda, diving into people's memories via the Your Forma and hunting for evidence to solve the toughest crimes is all part of a day's work. The problem is she's so good at what she does that her assistants literally fry their brains trying to keep up with her. After putting one too many aides in the hospital, the top brass finally furnish Echika with a partner on her level, a brilliant yet cheeky android named Harold Lucraft. Harold Lucraft. Does this unlikely duo have what it takes to resolve their mutual suspicions and avert a deadly technological infection from sweeping across the globe before it's too late?
So here's the thing about that. Looking into this a little more, they completely skipped an entire volume of the before they made this anime. They just decided we're going to start a volume in.
Oh, really?
So all of that, I think, that happens where she's suspicious of him initially and all this other crap with this virus, that's already done.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think the virus is all done now, and she now likes Harold.
It's either
well, she obviously does.
Yeah, she obviously does. So it's that was entirely skipped. So all of the character development that they had.
Wait, they're not. It's not like a kind of thing that they're just starting in the middle and they're going to explain it later.
I looked at it because I did at least look into this a little more, and I noticed I guess I watched it and I did see the reviews are very low. I just wanted to peek at the reviews, and that was when I started realizing that everyone's they literally skipped the first volume. And they had watched, this is already people who had watched through half of it. So it's not like an in medias res, we're going to go back, which would be a strange part to be in medias res if we're going to go back. But they did not, in a lot of ways, it's very confusing that they would choose to start at a random, a volume in
Yeah,
with
that
this
is
random
weird.
thing. Maybe the idea is that then they would go back the next season. Very strange. But
Yeah, why would you do that the next season?
That is
yeah,
kind
that's
of-
a little
yeah,
odd. But
it's a little strange.
let's get into the episode we saw.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with
So,
that in
yeah.
mind, let's
With that in
what'd you guys
mind,
think?
I thought it was great.
Okay.
It was really interesting.
Yeah,
it was an interesting world,
Yeah,
yeah.
the show really reminds me of like Psycho Pass or
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
or Edo Invaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in a really good way, because you've got that, like, Edo Invaded looks at using
Or it invaded?
id.
It invaded.
Like Edo is I think the way the Japanese pronounce it, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Id invaded.
Ido.
Like
I
because that
see.
uses like the same kind of looking into people's like memories and stuff to figure out what happened. And like looking into their psyches and that sort of thing. Psychopaths, we all know Psychopaths.
Yeah, of course.
Detective mystery, androids, like I just love all of that stuff. It's
Yeah.
great.
I think it's I was already kind of like struck by the fact that I guess like the people have a sort of UI built in that they like can see through,
Yeah.
and like that has like different pop-ups and
Oh, that was that
God,
annoyed
this looks
me.
like a fucked up place to
Oh
be.
my God, that
and
looks
live.
like- oh.
I hate this future. Like, oh, you're in the mall. There's a sale. There's 3 left. Go
Oh my
get it.
God,
30%
yeah.
off. Like, God
Yeah.
damn. I would have been. I would not be able to do that. I'd be
No,
some
I
cranky
would not
old
be able to
man.
do
Like,
that.
take your eyes out. Run. Like, get
I
the
would
fuck
be
out of
like,
here.
disable it. I don't care if I have to do black
Oh my
market crap.
God.
I'm going to disable these goddamn ads.
Yeah, that would be fucked. So there's that. I guess there's also the question of like they do like these brain dives and stuff, which is very trippy. Yeah,
is
very
very trippy,
much
very
ID
cool.
invaded, where like you kind of having to like go through all the memories and abstract stuff of the person you're even diving into
Yeah.
to find what you need. Which I mean, I guess privacy concerns.
Oh, yeah.
I don't exactly know how that would work legally. Do you consent to have every memory accessed?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you, like, just check here, or else you
think
don't get
that-
surgery, or you don't get this thing.
Yeah, that was. I think the one they
yeah.
did check the memory of was the victim.
It was the victim, but it's
Yeah.
also like,
But
I mean,
don't-
she
yeah.
did consent, kind. Yeah,
Well,
she
see,
did
the thing
consent.
Well,
is-
she asked.
She
for
asked them
it.
to.
Yeah, like obviously not excuses, but they weren't looking at every single memory she had. They were looking at the time of the incident.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's iffy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she did ask them to do it. So
The whole like invasive nature of like people actually having access to like everything that you feel and
Yeah.
experience reminds me of old sci-fi book from the 50s
Oh,
called
yeah.
Minority Report.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like
Yes.
you get arrested for a crime that you might commit
You
in
might
the future.
commit. Yeah.
so basically, psychopaths.
And I guess like what Psychopaths
yeah.
did with that, which was the what the likelihood percentage is.
Yes.
What was it? Your crime rating or something? The likelihood percentage that you're
Yeah, no,
too
I know-
crazy and you're
I know
going to
what
commit
you're
more
talking about. I
crimes.
can't remember the exact terminology
Yes.
they used for it, but yeah, that they had that.
To me, there's this element of like, I mean, of course, today we have. I guess it's funny with like security. This is a bigger conversation, certainly, but the idea of having security of, say, private messages or something like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and we've kind of become pretty normalized that, like, yeah, okay, if there's like an investigation going on and you're suspected of something, that like the police can go through your messages to like
Yeah.
look at that. But there's an element where it's like, okay, well, at what point do they stop if like it is your memories? They're like, okay, we have a
Yeah.
warrant on your memories.
True. Yeah.
That's pretty fucked when you think about it.
It is,
that
yeah.
it's like, or not even we have a warrant on your memories. You're a victim. We need your memories to
Yeah.
do that. So do you consent us to go through all your memories? Which then could be, oh, well, we saw in your memories that you illegally downloaded a thing one time.
That sort of thing,
So
yeah.
because you pirated that anime, you're going to jail,
Yeah.
buddy. And we got to watch the whole show
It's like-
for free.
Through your memories.
Well, like
Through your memories,
when
which
you
is
when you were
legal.
10 years old and you borrowed that illegal music download, like the music downloaded illegally from your cousin who lives like halfway across the country, it's just like, we're gonna get you for that, and it's
Yeah,
just
you
like,
just,
really?
You just wake up and you're like in cuffs in a jail cell.
Yeah.
Like, gotcha,
It's like, what did I
asshole.
do? You listened to illegally downloaded music 20 years ago.
Yeah,
You
and it's
wouldn't
like,
download a car.
Yeah, you wouldn't download a fucking car, dude. And honestly, in this time, I don't know, maybe they do. So yeah, already it's kind of like an immediate security or like privacy
Yeah.
issue, which I don't think they exactly address. It's not at all
Yeah, not
addressed
at
as a
all.
problem.
No.
It's sort of just like, this is just the world, and I'm
Yeah.
so cool and smart that I can do it.
Exactly.
That I can do it like
Yeah.
anyone else, or I can do it better than anyone else. I need a robot to keep up
I
with
feel
me.
yeah. I feel like
for
though.
a main
I feel
character,
like though
yeah.
the way they don't address it kind of tells you more. It's like it tells you that this is normal.
It's kind of scary.
Well,
it's
it-
been normalized,
it
but I don't
kinda
think it's
gives-
making a message about it.
It kind of like gives the idea of like, oh yeah, it's okay because I'm police. Like, you can trust me.
Of course.
It does
And
give
then
of course.
that
And
in
it's
itself is a bit iffy, but that could be something that comes up later. I don't know.
Maybe. And they do kind of show that I guess the police are sometimes prioritizing political fallout more than like what actually should be done. So I think that's interesting. They at least show that side. But yeah, I guess there is still this element of like, yeah, the police are going to do right by you.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, sure.
It would be nice if that was the perfect society.
So kind of getting to our characters, the Amicus Harold. What do we think of him and his partner? What was it? Echika.
I think
She's also done by Hanazawa Kana.
she is. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, dear God,
She is.
this woman's
Isn't
doing
it
like
the
a
fourth or
million
the fifth
I know.
show this season.
She's doing a
Crazy.
million shows.
Yeah.
She's like, is this even full time work? This is like more than full time work.
Yeah.
Damn. So
They
so she's
want that Hanazawa Kana.
they want that Hana's. I mean, they're paying probably a pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty big price
She's
tag
like one
for
of the
that.
highest paid female voice actresses.
Yeah, so she's making bank on it.
Yeah.
And of
We
course,
really
and it's
hope so.
funny again to see Akane and from Psychopaths
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
yet
yeah.
another show like
That's
this.
cool.
So.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
What's his name? Harold.
Is he's voiced by Kensho Ono, who voices Yuri from Spy Family, who's the brother of Yor.
Yeah.
And he voices Flock from Attack on Titan, which I just saw. He does other stuff too, but I don't recognize his stuff as much.
Kuroko no Basket.
I believe.
Oh yeah, he is. Sorry,
is.
I've never seen Kuroko no Basket. I did see his name in there. I don't know who. Is he a white hair guy?
He's the main character.
He's the main character.
He's the main character.
Blue.
It's like a light blue.
Yeah.
I have to see that show.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's really good.
But he's big. He's big.
I quite like Kensho Ono's voice.
Yeah, he's
It's really
cute.
nice.
yeah, it's nice.
I find it interesting that they've used him for this because generally, like people with nice voices, characters with nice voices, you end up trusting them.
Yeah, which I do like how they kind of him being this AI that is like, I guess like
He's so suave.
he's pretty suave.
He is, yeah.
He's very much a gentleman as well
He
as
is,
like
he
a.
is.
But also snarky at the same time.
He's snarky, and I love the little. There was like a tiny little bit of their conversation where it really sounded like what is it, Echika?
Echika.
That she's like talking to like Chat GPT.
Oh my
She's like,
God.
"Don't you think you've been a little too quirky recently?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, that's just what I am always doing." So there was this element where you are trying to like parse through like, is he really like more intelligent than just like a robot? Does he have a soul? Which I did like that the guy from the company saying like it's just supposed to be a
that's how you
replication of it.
interpret
That's
it.
how
That's
you
how you
think of
interpret
it.
it.
Which I think is always a fun.
No, I really
concept.
liked their. I hesitate to call it banter because it's like, is it literally just a human bantering with a robot's subroutine?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's still really, I found
Pre-programmed.
it really cute and funny.
Yeah.
Especially the store scene where he's just like, you should get this. Like, look at this. Because he's acting like he's pretending to be a shop assistant and going,
Yeah.
this looks good on you.
This
kind of
looks
thing.
so good on you,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
It's really cute.
I thought he was because I don't know these characters, because I didn't know these characters. I thought he was a shop clerk, and I was thinking to myself like, damn, that would be like probably a really good way to sell things by having your like
Flirting with the
this
customers.
this flirty robot going around and be like, ooh, this looks so good on you. And I mean, it probably would have like at least an accurate idea of probably what looks good, like with your
True, that's
style
true.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
It would be able to make assessments and whatnot that would not only be maybe accurate, but also like kind of impartial because
Yeah.
it's a robot. It's not weird because it's a
Like-
person coming up with that for
Because
judgment.
if you programmed it with like what you think like of like I think lately there's been a lot of like Korean color analysis stuff on like what color your like skin tone is and your the skin undertone and that sort of stuff. They can choose what colors look the best.
Yeah.
So if you programmed him with that, he'd be very good at it.
Yeah, I mean, like
General color theory.
yeah, I mean that would be
color theory.
probably a boon for the
Yeah.
industry.
True.
As well as also make everyone go broke, or at least all
Oh, yeah.
girls that really want that.
Yeah.
Girls and guys that want
Guys,
that.
yeah.
That want
Girls
that
and
kind of
girls
thing.
and guys.
I mean, hey, it'd be nice to go into a place and be like, hey, like I can just make your suit immediately, and I know it'd probably look best on you and
Yeah.
everything like
That
that.
would
That'd
be
be
really-
nice.
that would be really cool.
God, actually, if anything, might be a better boon for men than. Well, I don't know, lots of
I
men
think-
in the sense that like I feel like I hate. That's the worst. I hate going shopping for clothes.
Well, I hate going shopping for clothes too.
Oh, okay.
No, I hate
Well,
it
then,
too.
yeah. Then maybe we'd have the same.
I
benefits then.
like looking at really like cool looking clothes, but I hate shopping for them because it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
I
have
get
to fit. Everything has to fit. Like
yeah.
the chest has to fit, the waist has to fit, or the hip has to fit, and it's just like, oh my god.
Go into a store and it already has everything measurements all loaded up, and then directs you to just where like the things that like have that in stock, and then you can just order online. Nice.
Yeah.
As a shorter statured person, yes, I would love that. I appreciate that. Anyway, anything else?
I wanted to add. I really loved the like soundtrack music, the OST. It was really like atmospheric.
I kind of forgot it.
There was like a lot of like soft chanting throughout it, which I think so. The opening is done by Yama, which is a J-pop artist I listen to a lot. It sounded like her voice that was doing the chanting during the OST, but it might have been someone else.
Yeah, no, I really liked the intro and the outro songs. They were really good.
Yeah,
just very vibey.
Same.
Very nice.
The music was really nice.
Now,
I actually had one more comment about it. So I actually watched this when I was really, really exhausted. Like I was sitting there like, oh my God, my brain. But yeah, I really liked, I think you don't get told straight out, but it's very obvious where it's set. Like it's set in London.
They say at the very start of like the setting, they put the city at the bottom in text.
Okay, yeah. So it is set in like England, London kind of thing. I like the addition of like the Sherlock Holmes kind of theme.
Kind of like that vibe,
because their names like Harold Lurcraft. If you had to put it with anything, it'd be Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I feel like it's a very British name.
And the Stockholm like police, it was the Stockholm Police Department. So like they were in London for that. So like I love that.
Yeah, and I like the animation. I feel fits with the style of the show really well too.
Yeah, the style was really nice.
Yeah, I thought the style was a little bland, honestly, but it had moments, certainly.
I think I appreciated more so like the desaturated colors. It was very fitting with the atmosphere of the show.
I'd agree with that.
I also wrote in my notes, I also appreciate the Jimmy Neutron type brain blast that happens.
I was gonna say it was creepy when there was that like that thing of the guy, like that woman going to that woman's brain and seeing her like her like dream sequence. But it was so cheesy. No, it was so cheesy. It was a frickin' Jimmy Neutron brain blast. It was pretty cheesy, I thought, a little bit too. How they did the brain dive thing. Yeah. It was like, whoa, trippy colors, bro. Yeah. Oh my God. Like kaleidoscope. So I don't know. I guess there's that. The actual like I guess like the mystery, or I guess the murder, the crime sort of solving, or I don't know, just the general scenario. I guess I didn't find it as gripping. I didn't find myself really like pulled into it. Yeah. I also found it strange that yet again, as opposed to like another show where like someone like in the Dinner Table Detective, none of the victims I think died. They were like they've all been attacked. They haven't died. Right,
that's true.
So it was like and I guess that was because they wanted to do brain dives to have them alive so they can do brain dives, which seems kind of stupid. Why would they not kill them?
I think I'm not 100% on this, but I think it was a coincidence that she didn't die.
No. I mean, the other victims did not die. No,
none of them died.
Because I went through. The only one that actually died was the woman's husband. Who is the previous, I think, commissioner, or the guy that was over, he was above Harold. Harold is owned by that ex-husband. Well, not ex-husband. Dead husband. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, it's weird because when I went through and I, like, looked through, I was like, I kept going back. I was like, it just says android shoots at person. It did not say android murders person. Yeah. So I was confused because I was like, oh, so wait, they're not dead? But then it's like, why would they attack them? Like, what would be the purpose of like attacking them?
Well,
especially if they're going around to people late at night and just attacking them, not murdering them. Yeah. Was it just because like it's hard to murder people?
I'm like, is this like incompetent murder or?
Yeah, I'm just like, what's the purpose?
I mean, that could be
maybe there's some element.
That could be the whole mystery for it.
A type of terrorism.
Yeah, there could be a reason. Like the first thing that I thought of was that they're trying to increase distrust amongst
robots.
Yeah. But they don't want to kill people. They just want to frame robots for it.
Yeah, which is it's fairly decent motivation for what we know of Echika and Harold's relationship, which is willing cooperation.
Well, it was that in the first. I
did not read the blurb at all. Like when I watched it, my thoughts were, this is like unwilling cooperation. They're not necessarily friends, but
they're pretty close. I feel like
I felt there was a tension. There's still very much tension between them.
They had a conversation about like he's like, you don't hate robots now, right? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I guess. because there was a conversation about like how well they get along, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't really...
she very much is trying to root for him to not get decommissioned.
Yeah.
So like,
but you also have to look at it from the fact that that he is the only way she can do her job properly.
Yeah,
like you have to look at it that way.
Yeah,
because
I mean, but
every single partner, every single human partner she's had.
It's a good like it's a good excuse that doesn't reveal how much you care about someone by being like, oh, I need him for the job, because she also can't argue that, oh, I really like this guy, please don't decommission him to her boss. She's gonna have to have a reason why. Yeah. So it's I think they're doing pretty well, which I think is funny with the blurb being like, let's describe the first volume that you're not going to see. So yeah, I feel like they're pretty close. Maybe there's a little bit of tension, but like that would be more, if anything, it's romantic tension.
Yeah, for sure.
It's romantic tension.
I also had questions about that. I was like, do robots and humans like get... Like, do they have relationships in this world?
I actually thought the woman that got stabbed, I thought that was his wife.
Me
but
too.
Like, and like, because we don't know these characters.
Exactly.
So like immediately I'm like, oh, like she's like, oh no, so-and-so's hurt. I'm like, oh my God, that's his wife. And it's like, oh wait, no, it's not. It's his owner. It's his owner. It's his original owner's wife. So then I guess like robots can't get married to people because
I guess if they have owners,
it doesn't imply that they are at all like at a level yet. They're like maybe at the cusp of being at the level where they maybe wouldn't want human rights. Right. I mean, people are obviously caring for them enough now. Maybe in some cases,
but like at the very beginning, there was that girl
cool,
that had a crush on him at the jewelry shop. Yeah, and there was very obvious romantic tension between the main characters,
which does make me think like I thought it would have been cooler if that was actually his wife.
It would have been interesting
because then that would have been like, oh, this is a very different type of world.
Because I was shocked.
People are married to AI.
I thought he had something going on with his partner, and now he has a wife. Like what?
Whoa,
what is happening?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff.
So it'll certainly be interesting to see how this all unfolds.
Yeah. And there's they do the whole of robots have laws built into them and stuff, which is sort of
typical,
very typical of like robot AI sort of stuff.
Laws of robotics going on.
Yeah, laws of robotics can't harm, have to obey what they say. People say
it's definitely slightly different to Asimov's laws, but it is along the same lines.
I think just the thing with the people not being killed is just a little convenient for the purpose of brain diving.
Yeah, I feel like you can't really avoid it though.
Well, like I said, it's
for the first
it's convenient. It's convenient for the brain diving. If they're dead, they can't do a brain dive, so they have no one to brain dive. It's like unlike ID Invaded, where it's like they just need something connected to the memory of it, which I think was like a good way to go about it. This one, it kind of makes it like if they're dead, like we have nothing to go on. We're just gonna have to actual detectives. People. I mean, I guess they'd have to ask people if they can brain dive into them, for maybe the possibility they saw what you want. Which I don't know how they would do that. So.
That would be pretty interesting though, like having to track the threads of the case.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
It's kind of like using people as like surveillance cameras.
Yeah, that could be a. Oh man, imagine a. I'm even thinking of a scenario where it's like, say, like there's a murder at a concert, so you have to like grab people that would have been in good locations and like ask them all to come in and like go through all of their memories at once to like try to line up a map of the area.
Really interesting.
That could have been cool. I mean, I don't know if that's a direction maybe they go in or the scale they go into. But yeah. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Okay, so ratings, guys.
I wasn't as big on it, I think, as you two were. I gave it 6 out of 10.
Me too.
I would give it a 7.
Okay. 7.
I just really like this.
Yeah.
Like this show is up my alley.
I think just maybe the mysteries I just didn't find as interesting.
Look, to be honest,
which is funny. I don't know.
The mystery to me is interesting, but I like the world building. Like I just
same.
love.
I was really engaged
I love the
with
world
that.
it's in.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
Which makes me think, okay, I really want to explore more of this. The mystery is a nice add-on. Like it's supposed to be the main thing, but it's a nice add-on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really like it.
I think I appreciate. It's kind of nerdy. I just really like the old sci-fi kind of feel of it.
Yeah. I think maybe it also didn't really sell it for me as something I would continue. Was I feel like the characters weren't that interesting to me. The main character I felt was incredibly bland.
Very tropey.
Very much like, I guess, a little bit of a Mary Sue, maybe? I don't know.
She's just like a tsundere. Like
she's just a tsundere. I guess is just amazing at this stuff.
Yeah, true.
She's amazing at everything. And I don't know, even like her like pleading for him, like wanting him to not get decommissioned, it was very muted in a way that like I guess is her character, but I guess to me I just don't find that fun to watch.
Yeah.
Harold I did like, so maybe that would be something that's kind of cool. So recommendations.
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
I would recommend it.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking for a sci-fi.
I would recommend it as sci-fi. Someone, if you're interested in Psychopaths or ID Invaded, I think you'd like it.
Like a societal commentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of sci-fi.
It's definitely not. I don't think it's as hard hitting as say Psychopaths, but it is really good.
Yeah.
There've been a lot of anime this season about AI.
Yeah, I mean,
Which
hey,
is
ever-present topic coming up.
guess so,
I mean,
yeah.
we're getting a lot closer to having to answer these questions for ourselves.
yeah. Alrighty, so what's next?
All right, what's next? Let's see.
We've got five left.
Five left, y'all.
Shit.
Holy crap!
It's landed in the middle. What's this?
Miru, My Future.
Miru, My Future. Okay.
All right, so I will just say initially, we did watch this raw, I believe, right?
Raw.
As in there were no subs.
Oh, I watched it with subs.
I watched it with
Oh, you
subs.
had subs.
Yeah, I had
I
subs.
didn't have subs. We'll
Oh,
see if I
damn.
understood what happened
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me
yeah.
pull this up. This
So
was
Miru, Paths to My Future.
what number was this? Real
This
quick?
was number 18.
Miru, Paths to My Future. Studio is why did I say Dear God? I said studio. Oh, I said Dear God because there's a million studios that did this. Oh, and it's because
really?
it's an anthology series.
Oh,
So that's why. So I think I said
okay.
Dear God because I didn't know it was an anthology series yet.
see.
So I was like, God damn, it's a whole ass show that it's like passed around studio to studio.
Yeah.
Okay, so Studio Hibari, Studio Shirogumi, Studio Larks Entertainment, Studio Tri-F Studio, Scooter Films, Rares, Lin Q, and just all those were listed as the studios. I actually, and I'm sorry for this, I do not know which studio did this one. I'm sure if I went through the credits, I should check, but none of these studios I noticed were notable for anything.
I
So,
haven't heard
sorry.
of many of these studios at all. They might be subsets of studios, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Now, I did know that the director for this episode was Kashima Norio. I was able to find that. I was able to find the studio for it. And the writer I was not able to find. I was not, I had to do some deep diving. This has hardly any presence online, at least when I was looking into
Not
it.
surprised.
I think maybe in maybe the couple weeks it's been since I started doing collecting all this stuff. Maybe there's been more information we gotten out of it. But right now it was as of the time I didn't have a lot to go on. So sorry about that.
That's all right. Okay, so let's get this description going. So, in the distant future, humans create a robot named Miru, capable of traveling through time, visiting various eras, places, and even parallel worlds. Unlike some robots, Miru isn't equipped with weapons. Instead, it helps people overcome immense obstacles peacefully, encouraging new beginnings without violence. Miru continuously evolves by interacting with people, learning and growing to assist those struggling to survive. It listens to their problems and offers support. By helping others, Miru sets off a butterfly effect of dramatic change, guiding society toward a brighter future. Why was Miru created? What is its purpose? Can it save the Earth and humanity from a dystopian future?
Okay.
Yeah. I can see what you mean now that you've said that this is an anthology. I'm just like, yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah. But it's a cool animation anthology.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I'd be excited actually to check out more. But what do we think?
Yeah, it was fairly decent.
I think it was a really interesting story that had really interesting messages, but a very low budget to tell it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the only thing really detracting from it is I think the setting and scenario of picking up space garbage and for of course the butterfly effect of space garbage in space, where if things are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So whenever they smash into things, they make 1,000,000 pieces of debris that is going millions of miles an hour too.
Yeah.
So it's a major issue that may eventually crop up when we're putting stuff up into space and crap. So again, I was going on this just on the bit of Japanese that I know, a little bit of Japanese that I know. But they were saying that it was in 10 years' time, humanity will be trapped on the planets from the debris that was spreading. Was that did I get that right?
Remember that.
I do not remember.
They said something about humanity's future is at stake with the debris, and that this is a turning point, that whether humanity can keep the trash from piling up or doing this kind of thing. So it was this kind of, I guess she's going to different times and universes to help with things.
What I got
at like
from
pivotal moments is I think what I got.
What I got from this particular episode was, so there's an orbital platform designed to clean up the atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
And Yoshimura, the older astronaut, he is going to be replaced very soon by AI, which will do his job for him, which is what the whole episode's about.
Yeah. Okay, I think I missed a little bit of that. I think I missed a bit of that.
And then he gets a younger replacement, and the younger replacement turns out
He's supposed to be training her.
he's supposed to be training her.
Yes.
And this younger replacement is bubbly and optimistic and very, very like, wow, that's a personality and a half. And then you find out that no,
Very stark contrast.
she's not actually human. Because you find
She's a robot.
She's a robot. Yeah, she's Miru.
She's Miru. Yeah.
Which is like really cool because, and then he comes back and he gets like berated, going, "Why weren't you here? This new replacement's here to see you."
Well, that's right. Yeah, he did mention the AI doing because he turns it on. He turns on the thing and it just does everything for him. And he's like, this job is bullshit. I just get on this thing and take a nap, which is also like, this is so dumb. This is how like your daughter died and everything, and like everything's already auto anyway. Why are you even here? It's like hazard. I guess I get that hazard pay.
Well, I think that was kind of the message, is that he started out doing this job wanting to help people and save people from this space debris, and then he started getting replaced by the AI. It wasn't that it was there before. It started progressing while he was working.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he just kind of gradually started giving up on finding remnants of his daughter and his job kind of thing. It was kind of an interesting parallel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was,
of his aspirations.
And yeah, I mean, a pretty heartfelt motivation, or like at least initial motivation, wanting to find his daughter and stuff like that. I feel like it's like, even though it's 23 minutes, I feel like not a lot happened. And then, like,
I think physically not a lot happened, but it was very interesting psychologically.
Yeah.
Because you get introduced to his motivations, what's happened to him, and then the way everything, like the butterfly effect, like the way that if Miru wasn't there, the massive piece of garbage would have crashed into the station, potentially killing all of them.
And it probably would have ruined the entire project, and humanity would have been trapped on the planet.
Well, and that was the other thing, is that the message of that episode was kind of like, you can't actually trust AI to do the things that humans do.
You need to keep looking at
true.
You need someone there to, at the very least, monitor and fix what's happening. But I think the message was supposed to be that, like, humans are better suited for this kind of thing.
Well, there's kind of this part of me where I'm like, if you could just have the whole space station be AI and just have them shoot out robots and drones. I don't know. I guess part of me is like, I don't believe that you always would need a human, because I think in that case it's like his daughter died because they were like, we need a human there, and it's like you would have completely avoided that. The whole thing was AI.
That's true. There is a bit of a dichotomy.
I guess there's this part of me where I'm like, I feel like being like AI is the problem for this. I mean, humans, if anything, are the one that fucked up by putting all these satellites in the place.
But
I guess it's like, I don't know, maybe it's a little muddled for me.
I think it's speaking more towards a larger message. It's not about
it's not about like
the show's context.
Exactly.
It's about our
this
current
content.
our current societal issues.
I'll agree with that.
It looks at one person and their problems and their experiences, and then then you look at this, and then through that you take a much broader look at problems, that like societal problems, because you get like it's like a snapshot look at his life, and then through his experiences, through his like his problems, you then go, okay, well, this is actually, it's a very nice reflection of a very large problem.
Yeah, true.
It brings it down very much to bite size.
Yeah.
And it also, as it's not like a world problem, it's not everyone's problem, it's this guy's problem, it also adds a lot of sympathy for it. You know how you see on the news, like, this flood somewhere is like, put this town underwater.
It's far removed.
It's a lot further removed. It sounds really cold and cruel, but it's very far removed. But if you make it so it's about a person or a person's personal problems, there's a lot more emotion connected to it.
Yeah, true.
Well, and I think the whole like AI replacement thing is something that most anybody can relate to.
Yeah, relate to that.
Like, it was kind of a thing.
Issue.
The girl that was voiced by Hayami Saori, the Miru girl, she was like, well, what am I going to do? That, like, I'm going to be out of a job. And he's like, I don't know.
He's like
just figure it out.
You just got caught up in the middle of this sort of shift change.
And I mean, that's kind of like the conversation that people are all having about their futures right now. It's like, what job can I get that won't be replaced by AI? And it's like, nothing.
Kind of nothing, yeah. I guess to me, it's like, it feels like a smaller part of the message. I guess it also, because I feel like it also kind of speaks to the hubris of, like, I guess humanity's creating their own butterfly effect problem. So, like, AI is one part of that, but also the satellites act as that too, of, like, things that will sometimes spiral out of control into becoming, like, incredibly harmful on many different levels. I mean, you could talk about pollution being another part of that too. But, like, I think in this one, it's sort of trying to range between both. So maybe, I guess that's kind of, what I took from it was just more the butterfly effect of, like, how humanity can sometimes, like, create these problems, which I guess then what is the message we're left with, like, to solve that? We're just like,
understand your actions have consequences.
Understand your actions have consequences. Yeah, I guess so.
I liked it.
Yeah, I guess it's a good point. Yeah.
Again,
It didn't resonate with me as much.
I thought it was ripe with commentary that it really wanted to get across.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the art was very bad.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. Dude, I hated his hairstyle.
Incredibly unexpressive. There was no personality in the...
it was kind of rough production side. I think it was at least, like, competently put together. I mean, as in, like, it definitely, let's just say it was uncanny like 30% of the time. And then it was kind of mid the other 70%.
Yeah.
So, like, it was there. But yeah, it definitely doesn't get any points for production side of things.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think also, like, it was interesting. I wasn't super gripped by it.
Yeah, same. I mean, it wasn't particularly engaging.
It felt very lofty in its ambitions, too.
I agree.
Which felt like it was sort of going for this very, like, high-minded approach that I think also fell, I don't know, maybe a little flat of what it was trying to go for. That's just my take. I'm sure I think someone would like this or get a big message out of this.
Yeah. I'm not
actually,
like, I think you guys focus a lot more of the art than I do. Like, I was just like, I didn't really have any problems with it. I don't think it wasn't terrible. I can say that much. The art was not terrible.
I'd say it was competently made. It's just that some of it just looked kind of bad or uncanny, and it didn't stand out, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
It did not stand out.
I think also, on the other hand, you can look at that as, okay, they're not, like, you aren't completely captivated by the art, so you can actually focus a bit more on the actual story kind of thing. It's not like bombarding you with, oh my god, it's so beautiful. You know,
I get what you mean.
There's that kind of the way you could look at it as well. On a lighter note, the ending has a nice little cute surprise in it.
Oh, could you remind us on that?
I could. The ending has, so you know how the mecha which Miro turns into. It's got a little chibi mecha.
I hated that, actually.
Miro dancing.
Wait a second.
I hated that.
What did I say about that?
Its arms were as long as its legs were.
I think it was cute.
It was like a...
I really did.
I feel like I forgot about that.
And the dancing was, like, really
the dancing
cringy.
was not great, but it was cute.
I didn't have anything on the ending. I kind of forgot it, I think, completely.
It's an okay show. Yeah.
I also thought it was kind of facts that he's like, bring me to heaven. Just take me. Like, he thought he said, or no. He said, like, something about, okay, I was getting something where he was like, you're a god, like, take me to heaven or some shit like that. And she's like, I'm not a god. She's like, I'm not a god. I am just a robot.
No, I think she...
What did he say about that? He said something like, she said heaven is in your heart or something.
No, he was saying like, are you like, he was asking whether she was a god,
right?
And then it was just like, does heaven? I think it was something maybe about, does heaven exist, or do you think my daughter's in heaven?
Oh, that was it. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Do you think my daughter's in heaven? Yeah, that was it. Sorry.
And then she said, I think heaven exists in your heart.
Yeah, because I got the line, heaven is in your heart, and I kind of like that.
That was nice.
But I forgot about that. Sorry, he's talking about, like, is my daughter in heaven? And she's like, yeah, I can't answer that. I'm not a god. So I just thought that was kind of, like, I guess that would kind of be a rightful thing, or not rightful, but like a likely thing. A dad would ask for his daughter or something.
Oh yeah,
it's sweet. It kind of made it give it a little more heart. But yeah, okay, scores. You guys go ahead first.
Give it. I was iffy between a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Again, I really liked the messaging. I was confused where the story was supposed to be going, but now that makes more sense knowing it's an anthology series. It wasn't supposed to be going anywhere, actually.
Yes, just gonna be probably episode by episode.
So maybe I'd give it a 4, knowing it's an anthology.
Okay, yeah.
I would personally give it a 5. It wasn't terrible. And it's basically average, interesting messages, nice messages. Like, it makes you think a bit more about society at large. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 5.
I'm actually kind of surprised, I guess, where we all ended up, because I gave it a 6.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I gave it a 6 because I think there was a part of me that does at least like the message, that there's at least...
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't hit as hard for me, but it was something where I was like, I think it's at least worthwhile that a show is trying to tackle these things.
Yeah.
To try to, like, have something to say about this. And in some cases, very topical. I think also part of me is more, I do kind of give it a 6 because since I know it's an anthology, I don't...
I see, yeah.
If I knew this was going to be the same type of production style the whole way through, and I know I guess I rate these too often on what I expect it might be. So I think part of me was like, if it was the same thing as this the whole way through, but when I do think of it as a first episode, was it really a good showcase? I don't know. I do
as a first episode.
Yeah, I think with that in mind, I think it's a 5, which could become a 6. I think that would be a better assessment for me.
I have to admit though, even though I didn't know it was an anthology until you told us just then, I was like, this feels anthology. Like this it felt really a lot like an anthology because it was a complete story in one episode.
Yeah.
There was a conclusion. Miru appeared and then disappeared again. It was very like start and stop.
Yeah, I definitely got the feeling that we weren't going to be following him anymore.
And I gotta say, if they go through like many different times, like futures and pasts and stuff like that, that could be pretty dope. That could be very interesting. A lot of different, very unique settings for potential. You know what? I'll give it a 6. It's a 6.
Wow,
there you go. It's a 6. So would we recommend it? And it's like I give it a 6, and I'm like, I don't actually know if I'd recommend it.
I think I would.
I don't think I would.
I think it depends. It depends on who you're recommending it for.
Yeah, I guess if I think I would only recommend it
5 because I can't recommend
based on like AI commentary.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a 5 again. It's a 5 again because I'm thinking of recommending it, and I'm like, I actually don't know who this is for. Someone who kind of wants sort of mid sci-fi with, I guess, like a nice top, but it's also like I get this vibe of like Magical Girl. With this girl.
Who's that white hair girl in the opening?
That is true. Yeah,
she looked very important.
That is not.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, she sends out the butterfly. That's right. She sends out the butterfly. She sends out the. It's a weird mix of genres, almost. I feel like it's going for.
Yeah, it's a little confusing that way, but I think I would recommend. I think I would recommend it to people who are looking for like slightly eclectic kind of watch.
Yeah. Also, I really don't like the robot design. I really don't like her robot design.
I really hated
really
the chibi robot.
Oh, the chibi robot. Yeah, sure.
I think I just don't know enough about it to recommend it. Yeah, is what I would say.
I'd agree with my thing. So yeah, I think it very tentative recommendation. If you think you'd be into this thing, then check it out. Check it out. Maybe one of the episodes are good.
Kind of like this is a show. Yeah, like this is a show which exists. You might like it. Yeah.
And fine with subtitles because I don't think this is picked up by literally anyone in the
streaming. The subtitles I had were definitely done by AI.
Okay, interesting.
Because they kept translating the daughter's name totally wrong.
They did, yeah.
It was a completely different name.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, they did.
Was it like Sayaka or something?
No.
They changed the name. Like it was like someone had listened to the Japanese name of it and then translated it to what they thought the closest English name was.
Oh.
It was really weird.
All right, well,
it was weird, yeah.
Well, let's move on.
So, we've watched a lot of shows today, and we just want to let you know that these are our opinions.
If you enjoy a show that we discussed, don't let our thoughts get in the way of your enjoyment.
After all, we are just 3 nerds with mics who still haven't gone to Comiket. Okay, so we got 4 left, y'all.
We have 4 left.
Yes, to it. Next on the docket is going to be
Anne Shirley.
Anne Shirley.
So this was
breath of fresh air.
Yes. Quite literally.
Anne Shirley. This is also based on the old work Anne of Green Gables. Work that I think came out in the 70s. Quite a popular children's show. And the studio is The Answer Studio. And one of their notable works was they did the film Garden of Words, which has like the same art style as that show, kind of like Makoto Shinkai film. Yeah, like kind of
Your
like that.
Name.
Yeah, Your Name, sort of the director for that / creator. But the director here is Kawamata Hiroshi, and it seems he's most of his notable work seem to be children's shows. So I guess he's probably experienced in this field. Writer is Montgomery, or Lucy Maud, who's the original writer
Lucy
of
Maud.
Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah. Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Yes. Or of Anne Shirley. I think the book was Anne Shirley, and then they made
I think
Anne of Green
the
Gables.
book is Anne Shirley, but like it's most commonly known as Anne of Green Gables.
Actually, I think Anne of Green Gables is the original book title.
I'm not
Maybe
sure.
we should check that.
I don't think
Yes, Anne of Green Gables.
Okay, that is the original.
Okay.
That is the original title.
It makes sense that they slightly modify it.
That was a part of it. The Masterpiece Theater collection, which is a collection of different like old time works that were made in the 1800s to adapted into anime form for children's shows.
Okay.
And I believe that's I think Ghibli was a part of some of those productions. I'm a little hazy on it, honestly. But yeah, some history here.
Okay, so we're good on the director side?
Yeah, I guess blurb. What's what we got?
Blurb, I think. Yep.
Life is not easy for Anne Shirley, an 11-year-old orphan with a vast imagination and a short temper. In a twist of fate, she gets taken into the Cuthbert house in
Avonlea.
Avonlea.
I think.
Probably. Avonlea.
None of us are British.
Let's go with it.
The elderly occupants, Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert, were looking for a young boy to help in the fields, but they're in for quite a shock when they realize Anne is a girl. Adapted from the acclaimed classic by L.M. Montgomery, Akage no An portrays Anne's upbringing from 11 to 17 years of age and her encounters and separations with various people. Only time will tell what major decision Anne has to make that will change her life forever.
I love this show.
It was
I love
good.
this show.
It was so sweet.
good.
This is very nice. Very fun. They immediately conveyed her character very well. Like and I think in a way that you are very endeared to how
She's
much
very
of like
endearing.
a kind of like blabbermouth she is, but like you just love it. Like she's just so full of life.
Right.
Which I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to say here, but of course, what are your guys' thoughts?
I've never read the original book nor consumed
me neither.
any media for it.
Me neither.
So
Yeah, same.
this was actually my first time getting to the story.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. I was very suspicious of her new home to start with. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was just
yeah.
like, this seems very cold and unwelcoming.
Yeah,
and there's like,
yeah.
I'm just like, there are
Kind of sad.
interesting coloured flags popping up all over the place, but it does turn out really nicely. Yeah, so I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Very atmospheric, both the art and the music.
I love how they tie her imagination to the physical world you see
Yeah, the
around.
setting
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Yeah, she's just so
Yeah,
full of imagination. She has all these like extra names for things, and
Yeah.
it was just very sweet.
The settings and backgrounds were so gorgeous.
Yes.
And then I also loved how like it's kind of very obvious from the first episode that she's bringing more like color and love into these people's lives.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very, I don't know, it just felt, it's like, yeah, that's children kind of thing.
I love Mr. Colbert. Cuthbert. I love Mr. Cuthbert. He's just like he's just kind of like he's like
Yeah.
I don't know,
He's
Miss
just very
Cuthbert.
quiet.
I think we should probably like have her here. Like she's just such an imaginative girl, and I love that he's like we could do a lot for her.
Yeah.
It's not about what she
That's
could
how
do for
you-
us.
yeah.
I actually almost am like want to cry on
I
that.
know.
That was so sweet,
That's how you, like-
especially for that time. Orphans are really like they kind of, and I love that they very clearly convey that orphans are sort of these like they're just sort of workhorses. Like
Yeah.
just get an orphan, give them a job to do,
Yeah.
just do the thing I need them for. And it's like the fact that she'd find a home that's like actually going to care for her and like maybe give her a life. That was getting me tearing up.
Yeah.
Hearing him say that. So
I
has a lot of heart in it.
I loved of course, the commentary about adoption, especially
yeah.
I watched this a while after the Shiunji children one that really pissed me off.
That's good. Yeah, you got.
So it was very refreshing, but I also I really liked his comments about like it's not about what she can do for us, it's about what we can do for her.
Oh,
Yes,
Because I
love
feel
that.
like
I love that.
not just in terms of adopting children or like in this time orphans. I think a lot of people have children just because that's what's expected of them.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
think that it's kind of like a life insurance kind of thing. Like these children will take care of me when I'm old kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's not about what the children can do for you. It's about you need to think about what you can do for the children.
Yeah, and I think even in that at that time, even having kids is like work hands. Like,
Yeah,
that's kind of like having children was seen as like, I mean, this is going to help run the farm, and that's what the Cuthberts they have issues with. Is the fact they didn't have kids.
Yeah.
So there's like this feeling of like, oh, we need a boy in the house to just do this thing. I guess getting into maybe specifics. So she's essentially sent by the orphanage to the Cuthberts.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Cuthberts.
I pronounce it Cuthbert.
Cuthbert? Okay.
Cuthbert.
I looked
in
it up.
the Comiket Heaven they say Cuthbert.
I looked it up just then.
We'll say Cuthbert.
I looked it up just then. There was no direction on exactly which
Let's
one
just
it
go.
was.
We'll just go with Cuthbert.
Okay.
So the Cuthberts, she's being sent to the Cuthberts. Already, she immediately is like in love with the idea of going to this like place with all the flowers and stuff. And she comes back onto the train, and immediately I do think it's funny that when Mr. Cuthbert like comes to see her, they give her like this fisheye lens where she's just like talking. I feel
That
like
was so funny.
I feel like it was conveyed a little strangely because like that relates to the audience that she's insane.
Yeah.
She's like crazy. She's kind of a
going
wide-eyed.
off.
She's just a wide-eyed girl just has a lot to say.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of strange, but the ride back or the ride to their house, oh, I love that.
It was
I thought it was
Beautiful.
very fitting though, that scene, because it very much conveyed the idea that he was very overwhelmed by her
that's
presence.
a good point. That's a good point. Like because from his perspective, he's just like, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
This girl's like just going on and on about stuff.
Interestingly enough, with their like personalities, the balance between Marilla, Matthew, and Anne. I honestly think, like I say, Marilla seems very harsh, very cold. She's very but she's just a pragmatic person.
You're talking about Miss Cuthbert.
Yeah, Miss Cuthbert, Marilla.
Okay.
She's pragmatic realist. Like she starts off very cold, evil stepmother vibes.
Yeah,
and then you think Matthew. You see a little bit of him when he interacts with Anne at the station and on the way home, but you don't really see much of him through that. It's just like he's just kind of like overwhelmed.
Oh, he's kind of just like, oh, okay, all right.
And
I didn't think of any of that.
he seems almost dim-witted, but not exactly. Kind of.
He's not very imaginative. He's very much sees
practical.
it as it comes, practical kind of person.
Yeah. But it's a different type of practicality to Marilla.
But he's intrigued by it. I like that he's not like he wouldn't then just be like, oh, I don't know, random crap.
Yeah.
Like he's truly interested by what she has to say.
Yeah, he's very calm. Very
right. Calm's a good word.
He is curious a little
I've written here he's got a very quiet personality, determined, but he also has fanciful tendencies. Matthew does.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
I'd say that's a good.
I think they also balance Anne's flights of fancy really well.
Yeah.
Like you've got these it's very opposite ends of the spectrum here kind of thing. Like I think Matthew kind of falls more in the middle somewhere. Like, you've got Marilla very pragmatic, very realist.
Yeah.
You've got Matthew kind of more in the middle where he's still very like pragmatic and calm, but he also like entertains these potential like fanciful things. And then you got Anne right on the other side of the spectrum who's just like living in her own head 24/7. But you can kind of understand it from the way like you see of her past, like being like living with other families, how she's been basically mother to like 5 different kids who are like 1 year her like she's like 1 year their senior and that's it.
And she's been used as sort of like a at home like sort of house
just like
babysitter, housekeeper kind of thing. And just being put to work, kind of taking care of all these kids and stuff.
So it's not really surprising that she's developed this kind of coping mechanism.
And I love, oh my God, that was actually the thing I think I was the most impressed by was the fact that she went into orphan mode. When she went into orphan mode, when she was trying to get them to feel bad for her, to like keep her. And part of me was like initially thinking like, oh, this is an interesting kind of like, she's sort of putting on a little bit of like an act, like, please don't get rid of me. I'm such a poor orphan. But it's like, that would be such a natural defense mechanism to get people to like actually take you into a home. And it's like, it's so sad that you would develop that sort of like socialization defense mechanism to try to get people to like care for you in some way.
Right.
Because if you don't and you don't say anything, they'll just throw you to the curb.
Yeah.
So as an orphan in that time, it's like you'd be incentivized to try to like at least play to someone's emotions to like get to just get a home that loves you or like wants you there. It was very sad, but I felt it added an extra layer to her character, which was like maybe just I don't know, just endeared to her struggle.
Right. Speaks to her history.
Yeah, speaks to her history. And And she's also like very funny. Like,
Yeah,
she also had a lot of like really funny like things like, oh, it's gonna be my last night here, so I might as well.
The drama.
I never will sleep. I never will
drama.
sleep. Like I am so. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to me, but I will accept this dream for just one night.
Yeah.
And like I like.
Shit,
and, like, this is your, or I'm not gonna sleep because it's you that's
yeah.
doing this to me. Oh, that's
on
great.
the other hand, I can see like how playing to someone's emotions would help your own situation, but
Yeah.
on the other hand, I can't help but think that like how overly dramatic she's being could actually be a turn-off. Like,
Well, yeah, and
this,
I think
like this annoying child
Well, exactly.
is so overly dramatic.
But I think it's one of those things where it's like, because it's a child, they're kind of just like, I'm just going to use these like very like in your face sort of like appeals to emotion and like things like it's not something a child would have the subtlety to try to
that is very true. That is
navigate.
Very true.
So she's just like, I'm just using what I got.
Yeah.
So
and you have to imagine like that, and like compared to say looking at it from like an adult's point of view or someone who has their own means of like living kind of thing.
Yeah.
For her, she has no choice but to survive off adults, like the generosity of adults.
She's
which
very
means
dependent on
that
that, unfortunately.
she's extremely dependent, which means also the fact is like if she gets sent back to the orphanage, it is literally like worst case scenario. It is the worst thing which could ever happen.
And I do like that, and that's kind of the redeeming thing of Miss Cuthbert is the fact that when she goes to bring her back, I mean, she's like, I know exactly what this girl is doing. She's putting on this kind of act and whatnot, and it's like, I'm not having it. Which I like that she's like, I don't. She's like, maybe I will keep her. No, I can't get tricked by that girl. Like, and she brings her back, and it's at that redeeming moment when she realizes, oh God, she's gonna go to the family that's gonna like work her like a dog. That she's like, I can't just throw her into that. That she's like that message, like, what do we do? What are we doing for her? Kind of thing. Like
she can't fathom the idea of subjecting a child to this.
Yeah, it's like the true cruel reality of what it is to be an orphan is thrown into her face.
No matter how much,
that.
No matter how much she might have certain qualms about certain parts of Anne's personality or the fact that she's a girl or whatever, she just can't bring herself to subject a child to this.
Yeah, I mean, and it shows her the real reality of what orphans face. So I think that. So she made the right choice that now we're like, okay, now we're endeared to her, maybe in their relationship of how they kind of like, maybe they warm up to each other.
Yeah. And we already saw them warming up to each other in the episode where Anne washes the dishes and she grudgingly goes, yeah, she did a good job.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of
I like that.
Yeah.
I gotta like too that Matthew, Mr. Cuthbert is also like, oh, she'll be like a good like person you can talk to. Like when you're older, like as you get older, it'll be nice to have someone to like talk to. And I'm like, yeah, I mean that would be great to have as like an older person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a very cute, sweet kind of story that we're gonna probably get out of this. And I just really liked it. It was the first episode.
Same.
I feel like it established itself very clearly, very beautifully.
Oh yeah. I actually have a criticism about that,
what do you got?
Okay, so you know the avenue, the row of beautiful trees. Okay,
What did she call it? The White Palace of Flowers, or the Road of Flowers?
Yeah, it was some beautiful
White
corridor.
Avenue.
That's duh. You literally said it.
The
Avenue. You're right.
She gives this beautiful name to this specific avenue of flowering trees. Right now, does anyone remember what trees they are?
Aren't they sakura trees?
Yes, they are sakura trees.
It's so typical anime.
Here's my criticism. Here's my criticism. In the original work, I looked this up. In the original work, they used apple trees.
Yeah, they don't have sakura trees there.
And I'm just like,
what? Yeah,
guys, all I can think is, why didn't you use the apple trees? It would have been perfectly fine.
It's so stupid.
Because you changed it from a white aesthetic to a light pink aesthetic.
They also had her sitting in front of a sakura tree at the station too.
Oh yeah, she's like, oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm not sure about the sakura tree at the station.
That's what she said.
I don't know whether that's. I don't know whether it's in that like change. It couldn't
be though.
But
they don't have sakura
you know how there's a sakura tree in their front yard at the house.
Yeah.
Now,
it's like, wait, what?
That's actually true.
Wait, they did.
That's faithful to the original.
Did have a
there is a I was very curious about it, so I looked it up. Sakura trees, like cherry trees, weren't actually rare to find in Britain at that time.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think they're probably not what we think of as the Japanese sakura variety, but it is a type of cherry tree.
Cherry blossom tree.
Cherry blossom tree. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's the same variety, but it's at least the same kind of Yeah, I don't know whether it would
the aesthetic would at least
the
fit
aesthetic would probably
with
fit
that.
more. It would fit closer.
I will admit then that if it exists, so I will say if Sakura Blossom trees were not
but
there,
I don't
but not in England at that
But see,
time,
the
that would
thing
be a
is-
strange addition.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is feasible, I can kind of understand them
It's
going
slightly
for that.
feasible, but the problem is Sakura trees aren't really native to Britain.
Well, they're not.
Sakura
They
are
would definitely have
native
been
to
brought
East Asia.
over. Yeah, they
They're
definitely would have
native
been
to
brought
East
over, which I mean would make
but
sense
see,
for
the thing
Britain
is-
at the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the thing
they're
is
an
with
international.
it, the thing is with it still doesn't make
commerce
sense for the
power.
avenue to have Sakura trees because
That's a lot.
that's a lot of Sakura
That's a
trees
lot,
to start
yeah.
with. And even nowadays, Sakura trees are really only in like botanical gardens and other places where they have been introduced.
Yeah, and there's also there is an element to kind of I guess support your theory. The fact that the town itself would not find that remarkable in any way is probably the biggest
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like sin regarding like why would they not have a name for something that is like an entire avenue of crazy foreign trees that would
Yeah.
probably have taken like a lot of work
Yeah.
to
They
make.
can never see anywhere else.
That you can't see anywhere else unless they're just like so that is weird. I do think there's a narrative device of creating the avenue to make it more spectacular than maybe what they could have with the apple trees.
I mean, I think it's to
think they
relate to a Japanese audience. is the thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
There's also this element where whenever I saw like pictures of Anne of Green Gables, it's very green. There's not a lot of extra
green.
color
Yeah.
besides green and blue. So the pink sakura does like
Apple trees
add a
have
nice
white
thing.
blossoms. I looked it up.
Apple trees have white blossoms.
Yes, they do.
Which makes sense for the white
Oh,
white
wait,
avenue.
shit.
So
Wait,
White
the
Avenue, yeah.
Okay,
So-
now
so
I
for
don't know
me-
enough about apple trees. I didn't know they had white
I looked it
blossoms.
up.
So
I
then that
looked
is
it up.
bullshit. They
I
should
looked
have
it up.
just used
I
apple
looked it
trees.
up, and
Why
I
did
was,
they do that?
yeah, I can
That's
understand from what Krispy said about relating more to a Japanese audience, but I'm also just like, why wouldn't you showcase a little bit more of the difference of the British countryside kind of thing?
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, that's a little bit of a criticism,
Yeah, I
but
guess we'll
all
have
in
to
all,
move on from the apple tree.
look, all in all, what they've done with it is beautiful.
Yeah,
but
it is
It's a
beautiful.
little
Yeah.
criticism of why didn't they just keep it to the
Yeah.
original? Yeah, when they have kept a lot, like I don't know about her hairstyle or how Marilla looks or how Matthew looks. I don't know anything about that side of things. So they might have changed a few things up. But
I guess in their defense, it looks like apple trees have a lot more leaves around the blossoms, whereas
It wouldn't be as noticeable.
cherry blossoms are just the petals until they all fall off and
All right,
become
I think
leaves.
we'll have to move on.
No,
from
we
the-
have to keep
the
talking about the trees.
discussion, which maybe has been already half of the discussion. No, but I liked it. I love the show. I love the
yeah, it was
show.
great.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else you guys want to kind of add.
I don't like, as I said, I haven't seen the original media, or read the original media, so I have no idea about that. But I was thinking that Anne is extremely well spoken.
She's very
really
much
She's
learned.
extremely well-spoken.
She's like crazy
And
learned,
like not to
actually,
mention,
when I think about
she's
this.
well spoken for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, she's
not
saying
to
words that they don't know.
mention
Yeah.
an orphaned
Yeah.
11-year-old.
Yeah.
So-
where, if you think about it, and we get a look at her life before the Cuthberts, it looks like it's been mostly menial labor.
Yeah.
And like household chores and that sort of thing. It doesn't really make sense that she would actually have that much vocab.
I think it would because with the fact that she seems to be very good at housework and that sort of labor, it does kind of beg the question that I do think she's like naturally intelligent.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely
that she
an
has found
intelligent child.
time to carve out reading books. And if anything,
Who taught her how to read?
That's the question.
that's a big question. I guess that's a big thing of whether she's being as how she read. I will say that
think
that's a big mystery.
Having a vocabulary like that implies you're around people speaking like that.
I will say though
does.
that she either around people that are speaking like that, which would kind of make sense if like maybe people are in the higher upper crust had her as a houseworker.
Yeah.
But also, I would also say that if she is a part of these like homes and whatnot, her having access to the other people's libraries and whatnot could have given her access to like more words and more things. and whatnot
Possibly.
to there.
There's a
It's
lot
big
of
blank as to why.
Yeah. But it was an interesting thing. Just an
She
interesting
is
point.
extremely well spoken
Yes.
and extremely intelligent, or at least has a very developed vocabulary.
Intelligent but fanciful.
Yeah, very fanciful.
Which is not bad.
Which is nice. It's a very great.
It's a great thing.
Very great mix, and I think it makes it pretty cool. And I also just want to say I think it was funny when Anne roasted that they didn't have kids. she straight up like roasted them.
I mean, granted, they are brother and sister, so of
Wait,
course.
who?
What?
Yeah.
The Cuthberts are not brother and sister.
They are, aren't they?
No, they aren't. I don't mean that as like a
What?
thing for you. I'd be like, I'm like, they are not brother and
Wait,
sister.
what?
They said that they're like, well, we didn't have kids. We never had
Yeah,
kids. They would
right.
never imply that as brother and sister. What the?
They are?
Okay.
What?
Matthew is Marilla's brother. They are brother and sister.
Oh, wow.
They are not husband and wife. They are brother and sister.
Oh my god. I did not realize that at all.
What?
Did they mention that in the anime?
But they're married.
I think so. No, they're not married.
What?
They live together. They are not.
But they say we had no children.
Well,
that would imply that they would. That imply that was like a possibility.
No.
And he says that she wouldn't have children.
It's mentioned.
It's implied that
they were
she's
living
not fertile.
together.
Yeah, they're living together.
I thought it was implied that she wasn't fertile or whatnot.
The way I saw it to begin with was like I knew that they're brother and sister, and the impression is Marilla's design is spinster. Her design specifically looks spinster like to me.
Okay, can you explain that?
Spinster is a woman from that period of time who didn't get married and didn't have kids.
I see. Okay.
Like it's like that's probably it's almost sexist to say that's what her clothing design reminds me of.
I mean,
but yeah.
okay, yeah.
But yeah, they are brother and sister. They are not married.
What the fuck? That threw me for a loop.
We don't.
What?
So I think the line.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really.
Yeah. Look, I think
I'm just confused.
The line.
What?
The line we
Why
don't.
aren't they married?
The line we don't have children is probably refers to neither of them married and had children with their partners. Yeah, they are brother and sister.
But they don't have partners. It seems.
Hold on.
What? This is so
Hold on.
Part of me is like, just like, why would you write it like
in the
this?
book? It is explicitly said that they are brother and sister.
In the book, it says that too. Yeah, shit. Why would she write it like that?
I'm just going to.
I guess I'm just very confused.
So apparently, in the book, they were both engaged previously to like childhood crushes.
Oh.
But then broke it off.
Huh. That is. Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
What? What? Wait, they don't say this in the show though.
No.
They don't say. So how did you wait? How did you know?
I'm looking at the wiki right now.
So you did not say it in the show.
I knew it.
Well, no. I'm saying when you watch the show, does it say it in the show? They were brother
I'm not
and sister?
entirely sure.
Okay, because that's what I want to know. Did I just miss that?
I'm looking at the wiki for the 2025 Anne Shirley anime right now. It says Matthew Cuthbert. He is the brother of Marilla. There you are. The brother of Marilla. They are brother and sister.
I believe it. Like, you guys looking it up. I believe you. I'm just saying, I'm just very surprised.
No,
I did not get told that. / why is that the case? Whatever.
I kind of understand.
They don't make it weird, I guess. I would not expect that.
Yeah, I kind of understand how you got old married couple vibes from it, but...
Extremely old married couple vibes.
I did not.
Extremely old married couple vibes. I guess it's not weird. They didn't make it weird or anything, but...
Also, a lot of
okay, sure, I guess
the explanations online are just that, like, that was a really normal thing back in that time.
Okay.
That
see, that's the thing.
You couldn't marry for love because you had to consider, like, how to take care of your property.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's the thing.
Fair.
See, the thing is with it is that Matthew would have inherited the property because it was mainly patriarchal, I believe.
Patriarchal.
It's always patriarchal.
100%.
So yeah, Matthew would have inherited the property, but if Marilla didn't get married, she wouldn't have had anywhere to go, which means she would have stayed with Matthew.
Okay, I mean it's a fascinating thing. I guess I just have been
You
thrown
were
for a loop.
blindsided.
I was very blindsided
me too,
by
though.
that.
I thought they were married.
Yeah,
they're brother and sister.
I mean, yeah, that's a fascinating thing. I kind of wondered why they wouldn't tell us that.
Yeah, well, maybe
the first episode.
maybe in this adaptation they're throwing the sibling thing aside.
They're not.
I don't think
they're not.
I feel like they wouldn't go that far to change it, especially because like that would be kind of weird.
I'm thinking they did mention it in the anime probably.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they might have mentioned it when the orphanage lady is talking to Anne about the people she's going to go to. It may have been a very small aside.
Yeah. Anyway, well, okay. I mean, sure, sure. Like that's fine. Like they're still cool.
Yeah. Okay.
That lowers my score now.
So what was our scores?
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I said 8 out of 10.
I would give it an 8.
Yeah. I love this thing.
I really enjoyed it. It's just like the slice of life aspect isn't like my thing all the time.
This show particularly hits a element where I feel like if watching through this show, I will cry my eyes out. It just hits. There's something about it that just kind of hits every.
It's almost nostalgic.
It's very nostalgic.
But also it hits emotionally. Yeah.
It's very beautiful, and I feel like the characters are just so full of heart that I just love. I just want to follow them and see what they got to. Okay.
So yeah, would we recommend this? Definitely.
100%. I will be watching it.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Great.
All right,
Let's get going. Last 2?
3.
Yeah, last 3.
3? Okay, last 3.
Right, last 3. Let's do it. Oh my God, we're doing it, guys. We're doing it. And
it goes to...
No.
That was the first show.
It is number
on the
one.
list.
Yes, we finally made it to number one on the list, which is
made it to
yes,
number
which
one.
is Compass 2.0. Sento Setsuri Kaiseki System, which is Combat Providence Analysis System.
Yes.
A mouthful. We can just call it Compass, I guess.
Yeah, Compass 2.0.
Yes.
It's 2.0.
2.0. Yeah,
2.0.
you can't just say
Okay,
Compass.
But it's not just Compass.
2.0.
That place is fucked up. So studio is Duce.
Deuce.
Le Duce.
I don't know.
I think it's Le Duce.
I don't know.
They're known for doing. I noticed there was the Sinbad from Magi.
Oh, for
the
real?
Sinbad
Yeah. I see.
spin-off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They
not
did
Magi?
that. They didn't do Magi.
Oh, okay.
And they did Tomo-chan is a Girl. That was like a popular one, I feel like, a while back. I didn't see it. Those are the only two notable things I could find. Perhaps
I feel like the Tomo-chan one, I'd probably know it if you said the title.
It's
in Japanese.
it's the one, I don't know the Japanese title, but it's the one where it's like the girl who's like a bro with this dude.
Oh, okay.
She's like a guy. This dude literally thinks she's a guy, like up until they're like in high school. He's like, wait, what?
You're a
So
girl?
that was the whole thing.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, director is Namba Hitoshi, and he is known for doing Tomo-chan is a Girl and Gosek,
Oh.
which I never saw. Gashik.
Well, I mean, that would be the.
Yeah, okay.
It's supposed to be gothic, though,
Yeah,
but sick.
Yeah.
but it's localized to Gosek.
Yeah. The spelling.
Gossic.
I'm just saying, that's how I remember hearing people
Anyway.
say it. Anyway, series composition is by Fukushima Naohiro and Okawame Hikaru. So, and the original creator, I was in
It's a mobile game.
it's a mobile game, so I think it was just taken to be like they just wrote the script for it. That was kind of it. Yeah, let's get into the blurb.
Yes, the blurb. Okay, so the blurb. So this is the world of the battle analysis system Compass 2.0. It is a dreamlike space where heroes gathered from many different worlds spend time together with their human partners, the players. I still have problems. I have problems with this blurb already. The energy generated by the heroes' battles is essential to the operation of #Compass, and battling is their responsibility. However, a troubled hero named 13 refuses to find a partner or battle and is on the verge of being banished from the world of #Compass 2.0. Meanwhile, Jin, a beginner player who has just arrived in the world of #Compass 2.0, seems interested in 13 as a potential partner. However, a major incident begins to occur in the world of #Compass 2.0. Could the key to resolving the issue be 13's special ability? Can our troubled hero and his new partner bring peace back to the world of #Compass 2.0?
No.
No, absolutely.
I have to say the hashtag. Well,
This show is wild. That's all I
wild.
say.
Yeah,
That
that
show
was-
is wild.
It was wild.
That was wild.
What the f- did I watch? I mean, in like
That's my impression as well. What the fuck did I
yeah,
watch?
I feel like I was at least endeared to it
Yeah.
a bit more than like some of the other more like what the fuck did I see
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
I was pretty entertained the whole time.
I was actually pretty entertained.
I actually have to say I was pretty bored.
Yeah,
Really?
I think
Yeah.
some elements bored me,
I
but
was-
some
yeah.
definitely like I perked up a little.
I think adaptations are very hit or miss, and I feel like this was a miss to me.
For me,
Probably.
from the beginning, I
I'd
didn't know
agree.
this game.
I didn't know either. I
But
didn't know it
from
was
the
a game.
beginning, I was like, this is a mobile game. Just
Okay,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
ensemble cast, the way it was introduced.
I actually did not know it was a game, but yeah, sorry.
It reminded me so much. I don't know if you guys ever watched it. I doubt you ever played it. Of Show by Rock.
No.
It's like the animal people playing in bands. I loved that anime, and I played
yeah.
the game for a few years. It just like the anime aspect reminded me so much of it. The anime of Show by Rock, and it's just a very silly anime that
Okay.
like kind of takes itself seriously in a silly way, which is like what this kind of felt like following 13 at times.
Yeah.
So I was a little like biased towards it
I
for
see.
that, and then it also reminded
positive
me
way.
of Summer Wars and Belle. So
yeah,
I liked
true.
it for
does
that.
give kind of
Yes,
those vibes.
I liked. They don't name the Robo Miku girl.
Oh, yeah.
but she just says Kapi, and I just like how she says Kapi.
Her name is Voidal.
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 No, it's not as
Okay.
fun as Cappy. Cappy.
I honestly thought-
she says Cappy, and the evil one says, what is it? Something. What does she say?
Bug doll is I don't know.
She says
it's like
she's
Goppy or something.
Guppy,
Yeah.
like
Guppy and
Guppy. Guppy.
To
I
be
don't know
honest,
why I
I'm
just
pretty
like that.
sure I thought that her name was Kappy.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like you know how
It's
Pokemon
cute.
say their names.
Yeah. I will
Or
say,
like Moo Moo.
Or
or
Moo.
Moo. I will say that, like, for the fact that I know now it's a game, man, some of these designs are ass. Some of these designs are ass. I feel like we may disagree on this. I hated 13. He was the least likely part, likable part of the show.
I was like half and half.
He was just annoying. Like I actually found the Buzz Lightyear character and all the other random people. Okay, the girl that keeps getting beaten up.
That was really annoying to me.
Too.
Yeah,
that was really
stupid.
That just kept like happening over and over. And I'm like, what the like? I don't give a shit. Like let's move on. Whereas
I feel like 13 is like too edgelord.
Well, yeah, like extremely edgy.
It was very silly to me. Well, yeah, I guess I wasn't taking it seriously at all.
He's not. It's not like he's edgy. Yeah, it's just like there's no one cares. The stakes of this are all so incredibly low that like nothing really matters.
Like we're told, like, you know, if he doesn't get points, he'll be like forced out of this world. But it's just like, what is the problem with being forced out of this world?
Yeah, like he came from another world, I guess. Or...
I think the issue, my theory, because I don't know the game, I'm sure there's an easy answer to be found.
Probably.
But my theory is either that they are just game characters, they're not real people, or that. Like my theory about Kuron, he's dead and he can only exist in this world.
I don't think they'll go that far.
But then there's like these flashbacks with Jean, and it's like apparently he knew 13 somehow, or someone very similar to 13 in real life.
I think it was someone very similar to him.
Which
is why he can, which is why he can deal with his personality.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
He has the same voice.
Am I correct in thinking that 13 is voiced by Onodi?
You're correct.
I am correct.
This it's stacked with seiyus.
Yeah, there's a lot of
the cast.
Every single character has like a huge name seiyu. Fukuyama Jun is a character that doesn't even have a portrait. Like
he's just there.
He's just there.
He's got everyone involved.
Just a background character.
Well, I guess that's where all the budget went because this show kind of looked pretty vast at times.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. I remember the opening being kind of fun. I remember liking the opening.
But the opening was by
It was
by Mizuki Nana.
Oh,
which is insane too.
What does she do again?
Mizuki Nana, she's like a huge seiyu.
I see.
She, like from like decades ago until now.
Wow. It's like kind of a goofy show. I like the I love the little chibi players. I love their little designs.
Yeah,
they're actually very cute little designs.
I was trying to figure out how everything actually worked because it was like it kind of said, you know, these
it's
people
like a MOBA card game,
and like these things like these people work together and they unlock special abilities somehow, and I'm just like, what?
It wasn't until. Oh, I see. In game.
Yeah, well, in game, in anime, like, how does this all work?
But then it was really interesting. You didn't see until almost the end of Jean in real life, and he's like in a college class, and
playing the game.
He's seeing the game through one of his eyes.
Oh shit, that's right. He's seeing it through his
and then he's
eye.
interacting with it through his smartphone.
Yeah. I like. It's an interesting concept. That is pretty cool.
That is a pretty cool concept.
And it's interesting the fact that it's like it's a MOBA practically, like we're like a. Like kind of like Dota or League of Legends, where you have like a team of characters, or kind of like Overwatch too, I guess, where you have like a team of characters fighting. But I guess it's also like Yu-Gi-Oh card game thrown in as like a mechanic thing, which I guess is part of the game. Again, I didn't realize this was a real game before. I just figured it was a. I don't know.
I was just like, it seems some of the games which they play are like very much like 5v5 capture the flag type.
Yeah, they have different like game types, I guess, or that sort of thing. So,
but it was very confusing.
Yeah.
The original in-game, not the human
the
avatars, the heroes are very colorful. Like I was like, I'm pretty sure. Like I was like, there's combination. There's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in here.
A lot of times,
it's like JoJo.
I forget exactly
like it's like JoJo's, and also just like really edgy MMO avatars.
A lot of times, ensemble mobile games like this, they have different designers for each character.
Yeah, each character is different.
So it's like a completely different designer.
There's no real coherence across the board. Yeah, I do love the Buzz Lightyear, dude. It was so stupid, and like he has like American flag shit all over him, and he's using a giant hammer. I guess I'd roll for him if it was. That's how it goes. Shit.
He's best boy.
Maybe he is best boy. That'll be my take then. He's best boy. I love that I put here Temu Overwatch. So awesome. That was kind of my take. The designs are ugly, but I mean, it's pretty silly. It's over the top. Over the top. It's kind of goofy. Mm-hmm. The stake of like, I guess the database getting infected. Yeah. I was just like,
that's Summer Wars.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. It's an interesting kind of like longer form, like world like world plot kind of detail kind of thing, where that's going to be like one of the driving forces for like you got to protect this or whatever. But
Which they're having like a concert the whole time while they're like fighting for their lives.
Which was almost like
really
exactly
funny.
like
Princession Orchestra.
It
was very much like
like something like
Orchestra
disaster is happening while they're like still playing.
a big bad bringing little minions to come attack everyone.
Little
during a
evil
concert.
Minions, all trying to like infect things.
Yeah.
I also just love, and I'm gonna call her Cappy or Cappy.
that's fine.
I just love the sass she gave 13 the whole
Yeah,
time.
that was awesome.
I just love the sass. She's just like, get to work. Oh, and I love the little robot helpers, the little tiny
they were cute.
Cappies.
Yeah, they were chasing
with the little pigtails with the like the hazard like stickers on and stuff like
yeah.
that. I don't know. That's just, some reason
cute.
that was very endearing to me.
Yeah.
I like that.
They were cute.
Very cute. I don't know. Any other thoughts on the show?
I just want to say I really hated the whole thing with Jeanne d'Arc.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was so stupid. Like, why is she even there? If you're just going to put her in there to be a damsel for distress, just don't even focus on it.
I would hope that they would do like a redemption arc or something where like she becomes powerful. She
But it's
finds
like,
it in herself.
Until then,
she's doubting herself right now.
she needs to be saved by everyone else.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And like she's like one of the few female characters in there, really.
Right.
Yeah,
and
no,
then,
it's like a lot of guy characters.
and like that's the other thing. I'm just like, are you seeing these outfits?
Yeah. Well,
oh, yeah, I forget.
Granted, some of the guys
her
with their
boobies are out.
Are they?
Yeah, they're out.
That's actually funny. I didn't even register. I think.
No, they're out. They're out. All right.
Really? Wait, are the other girl character designs like that?
Most of them, yeah. A lot of them are very.
I was looking.
Oh,
I was looking at the dudes.
Kitsune girl isn't. She's cool, and she's voiced by guess who? Hanazawa Kana.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they showed all like the types of like groups of team members.
Yeah.
That was at least a little intriguing. I think in the OP. In the OP they showed it.
Are they in like fixed groups? Because then she was battling with like other people.
I think they just paired them up like that to showcase
I
them.
think
They might come from separate factions.
I think it's possibly. It could be more like Overwatch team, like in real life, how Overwatch
it's
teams.
random.
Sometimes it's random, and sometimes you're playing with a bunch of friends.
I liked Skateboard Dude. That was kind of cool.
Skateboard Dude was cool.
I liked his design.
Yeah. He's voiced by Saito Solma.
Oh,
who's
nice.
He does a lot of stuff too.
Okay.
He's got a nice voice.
And production wise, pretty mid.
Yeah, pretty mid.
Yeah. All right. How do we rate this?
4.
5 out of 10.
Okay. I gave 6.
Kringle.
6.
Kringle,
I just give everything a 6, I guess. I don't like. I feel like I'm like this is something. It's enjoyable. It's right on the cusp of me not wanting to continue it though, which I feel like is a 6.
But it's on the cusp of you wanting to continue it too.
Kinda. I don't know. I guess there's this part of me where I felt like it was like it's silly and cute in like a way that I found like kind of endearing to watch. I don't know.
Same.
I'm just gonna leave it as 6.
For me,
I think someone I could see. I would be more comfortable recommending this over Midu to someone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would not actually. I'm actually the opposite. I would much prefer to recommend Midu over Compass because Compass to me it's like a lot of live action adaptation movie things where it's like it just doesn't get done well.
I mean, not to that degree, but yes.
Yeah,
I mean, gotcha game adaptations.
I found it kind of unclear, and there's no real like drive to continue watching it or curiosity with the characters or emotional connections with them. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
I wouldn't recommend Compass 2.0. Instead, I would recommend Show by Rock. You should watch Show by Rock.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why it is I like the show so much. But like, I think the idea is it's just like I think
you like American Man.
I really like. I really like. I think his name is Spaceman.
I don't know.
His name is Hancock.
Oh,
and then like some English, generic English.
I think there's this part.
What is it?
His name is Justice Hancock.
Justice Hancock. Yeah.
Justice Hancock.
Fucking Hancock. God damn. That goes so hard. Okay. It's a 7. It's like, okay. I love his character. I love that guy's character. It's just goofy. Just like, I mean, he has like 2 seconds of screen time, so I'm not going to be like, he's like, obviously this thing. I don't know. The show just endeared me in a way. Now, I feel like knowing that it is a game adaptation, I definitely think that lowers any interest I would have.
Oh, really?
Because I did think it was an original work.
I see.
Which I think raised it much higher than knowing now that it's just a game.
Yeah.
So, in a weird way, I guess I would have a harder time recommending it now, knowing that.
Not that there's any problem.
Because it's just in service service to just it's just in service to advertising a game.
Not
Is, I think, the
that
problem.
there's actually any problems with the game adaptations. There are some beautiful game adaptations.
Yeah.
Like the
can
one
you
we
name
mentioned
some?
earlier, Nia.
Oh well, Nia. Okay,
Yeah,
I have
Show
yet to
by
see that.
Rock.
I have yet to see that, and I guess Show by Rock. Yeah.
By Rock, yeah.
So
there are
I
some
guess for
beautiful
me,
adaptations out there, but this one just did not hit. the
yeah,
right
for
spot
me, I think the fact that it is a game adaptation, I would not really recommend it.
I think specifically that
and
it's
I
a
think that
mobile
does-
game adaptation as
And
opposed to like a linear narrative.
Yeah, and I
video
think
game.
I think I would then really truly put it down to a 5 for that case alone. It sounds arbitrary, but like, yeah, I just don't think I could really recommend it.
Yeah.
I guess if you want a really silly ensemble cast of like just goofy ass characters and
which make you
If
feel
you
like
really liked-
watching
if you
a
really
mobile game.
liked Summer Wars.
low stakes, if you like Summer Wars, that kind of thing,
Could be good,
and you've
but-
already seen Show by Rock,
Yeah,
then
you should watch that
check this one
first.
out.
Yeah.
Next, we're gonna hit up the wheel, which only has two.
Oh shit!
Frickin'
This is gonna
shows.
decide
Look at this.
the rest of the.
Look at this.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of like what the last one's gonna be.
I do
All
like
we
how this is
have
going.
Gorilla Girl.
We have the longest one for the last.
Yeah, that's all right.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay, so-
we're still gonna spin the wheel next time.
This we're still
have
gonna
to
spin the wheel.
spin it.
This is number 33. The Gorilla God's go-to girl.
I love the alliteration.
Yeah, that is really good for the
Yes.
English. The Japanese title is a lot longer. I like how they've managed to somehow shorten the English title.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, the Gorilla God's go-to girl, the young lady who is blessed by the Gorilla God and is adored by the Royal Knight
Yep,
Order.
and that's the more official title, which
That's
is
the official
directly
title there.
translated from the Japanese.
Studio is Kachi Garasu, which was previously known as Encourage Films. They, I guess, reincorporated or something, but nothing really of note from them. Gachi Garasu, I don't believe even has another anime that it's produced, so it's technically its first produced
Production,
anime.
yeah.
The director is Oizaki Fumitoshi, and they worked mainly as key animation roles. No notable works outside of just them having a lot of roles for that. And writer is Shirohi, and that is it. That's all they go by, and I don't have any particular notable works from them. Okay, let's get that blurb.
Yeah.
In a world where individuals receive blessings from various animal gods at the age of 16, Sophia Riller, a timid count's daughter, unexpectedly receives the blessing of the gorilla god, said to be the strongest in combat. Though she longs for a peaceful school life, her rare and powerful ability attracts the attention of the royal knights, who scout her as an apprentice knight. Despite her efforts to hide her overwhelming strength, she can't help but stand out. Meanwhile, the promising young knights around her watch over her with kindness.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts?
Better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Okay, yeah.
From the title, I was just like, kind of like Gorilla
Yeah,
God,
same.
kind of, is this going to be stupid? Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
there's like a weird obsession in Japan with gorillas as being like this meme kind of like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is.
icon.
There is.
Well, it's
Like,
like a
I was-
muscle. It's like you're on Musclehead or something like that.
Well,
or like.
I don't. It's like it's
It's a meme. It's
different.
just
yeah.
meme.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know how to exactly describe it. It's kind of like you're a mix
It's
of
like-
clumsy, but also like
You could literally
strong.
just say gorilla to a child and they'd start cracking up.
yeah, they'll
Yeah.
love it. They
Yeah,
be
they
like
will, they
gorilla. It's just
Yeah.
a very fun word.
I guess.
I think, which is part of
Yeah.
it.
It just has basically meme status.
I think
Yeah.
there's also like a lot of gorilla characters that they use in like in
Yeah,
Japanese
that's
media
true. Yeah.
for like fun
Yeah.
or like I don't know. It's just kind of like a silly animal
I
in
guess.
Japan.
Yeah.
And then-
so I had like weird expectations about this
Same.
because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I would agree with that. For me, I was disappointed. I guess.
Oh, really?
I thought it would have been a little bit more fun. I don't know. I guess just didn't get there for me. But what do you guys think? I think you have more
I
interesting
think it
stuff
was
to
good.
say here.
I think
It was
pretty
very,
good.
it was very sweet,
Yeah,
honestly.
it
I
was
really
very
liked
sweet.
Yeah,
her
it wasn't bad in that sense.
personality. She was very endearing.
Yeah, very earnest kind of character.
I really appreciated that there wasn't much of a focus on her school life. I'm glad they
Oh,
like
yeah.
got her out of that quickly and
Gotcha,
into the night stuff.
Yeah.
And I also really liked the dynamic between her and the
Like the knights in
trainer.
training.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
trainer
the
itself.
guy.
Yeah, the guy.
Which I assumed watching the opening, I'm like, is this like a reverse harem show? But then
almost
but then
positive.
it's like
Yeah.
it shows scenes and it kind of clearly looks like they're like a couple already.
Yeah, but there's always gonna be like a first pick kind of
I
thing.
guess
And then you're gonna
they're
have
like
all the other
holding
nice
hands
guys.
and
I feel like they're gonna have all the other nice knights. Well, in the OP,
the main guy,
but in the OP, don't they show a bunch of other dudes?
Holding hands or what?
They are holding hands in the OP. Yeah.
You kind of look at like the title art, and you're just like, okay, is this like reverse harem? But the thing is, when you watch the first episode, to me it very much seems like, okay, she has a crush on hot instructor guy.
Yeah.
But everyone else is friends.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of ending there. With episode 1, that's the vibe I got. Because, like, especially with the dog boy.
Oh, yeah.
He was, like, obsessed with her in a dog way.
Yeah.
He was like, you're my savior.
Yeah. But I think their relationship feels a lot like mutual respect.
Right. It definitely felt like very immediate friends kind of thing.
Yeah, which is very nice.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, I don't know. I guess in a way it's like a light reverse harem in that sense where it's like they're all kind of like, it's like maybe just like friendly acquaintances. I guess there is, I mean, the show's probably going to go for the fact that it's like, oh, they're all still hot guys.
Yeah,
which, like,
I think
I'm
it's
sure the audience
marketability.
will still want to like have a favorite or something.
Yeah.
Which we have to decide. Who is best boy?
We've only been introduced to one of them though. There's only been introduced to one.
The main guy
is the puppy guy? Is he technically part of that group? Okay.
The main guy, the dog boy, and then like the cat boy or whatever. Boy. He jumped off the tower.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, you have to choose the best boy.
What is his name?
Dog boy. That's it.
Yeah,
I just think it was funny that he was. I just like that he was scared of the heights.
Boy.
Is he a cat though? I don't even know. His name is Eddie Fellis.
Yeah.
I think I liked him the most just because he intrigues me as to how they go with his character.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dog Boy is Isaac. Isaac, is it? Isaac Sheehan. Yeah. He's also very cute.
He's so cute. I love him.
Cute guy.
He's very cute.
That puppy dog kind of.
It is
I guess
really nice.
vibe is fun.
And then obviously you've got
Sorry.
Scarrow, Luis, who's
it's Louis.
Yeah. Louis Scarrell, who is our ultimate hot guy, who's the instructor for this.
Yeah, he was actually pretty sweet. Like I generally don't like the main guys in these kinds of anime. Like I just get bored with them. They're very boring to me.
They're very boring, stuck up, and just like self-important.
But he had like a silly side. It was pretty cute. And
really cute.
Is he the squirrel? Like, is that the?
Oh,
is that what you guys got from that?
What?
That he was the squirrel that ate her bread.
What?
That was my assumption.
I didn't quite get that vibe.
Oh yeah, because she met him then, and then
and he was like immediately like drawn to her, and I thought it was because he knew that how nice she was, kind of thing.
Yeah,
interesting.
Look, I thought the squirrel was probably someone. I didn't know who it was.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it does make sense. It does make sense because Isaac's kind of dog-coded.
I guess the powers confuse me though because it doesn't
unite.
No, but it doesn't seem the powers confuse me because it doesn't seem they actually transform. Right. They just get powers of that.
Maybe he's special.
He can turn literally into a squirrel.
Which isn't very helpful.
When is she gonna have her magical girl transformation into a giant gorilla?
Yeah, come on.
Where does that? It's interesting. I think the concept everyone gets a power at like I guess what year? What, at 18?
I don't think she was 18. I think she's maybe 16.
I don't know.
It was kind of younger. It was interesting too that the immediate thought was more of like what are the jobs that I could get with this?
16.
Which is kind of interesting. I think it has kind of like there's definitely has something to be said here because they also talk about how like she's like, "Oh, I'm in the school where like everyone's just trying to get married. Girls are just trying to get married off and to have like jobs in like the relevant fields for women." Like the type of fields that would be fitting for a woman to be in. It's obviously trying to say something like this idea of like your innate talents that you get at birth. Sometimes it's like that won't line up with what society is going to, or what type of things you have that make you who you are is not going to always line up with what society wants. So I thought that was a kind of cool idea that they had going for it.
I think it's interesting because it's not like she's chosen to do this. It's like it's something which the universe has pushed on her.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
It's not saying.
I mean, that's kind of how it goes.
I'm not saying that like she should have done this or she shouldn't have done this. It's just an interesting kind of like look at it.
Well, yeah, and it's like life is not going to be like. Societal roles are not going to fit to like who you are.
They're not, and it's not through any like choice of her own. It's actually through the gods.
Yeah,
which is very funny.
By the way, she's gonna be a fucking monster. It's awesome. She crushed an apple by accident.
And she crashed through a full on
stone wall and didn't feel a single thing.
Yeah, and everyone's just like jaws to the floor.
She's a beast. Like, oh my god, she's like insane.
I really hope they keep up that
dangerous
beast vibe. I love that.
love whenever she uses her power and then there's like a floating gorilla that's like giving a thumbs up.
Yeah. Her stand.
Doesn't it wink and it goes with the wink?
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. I do think that's really fun.
No, it is quite fun.
So it is like a very like silly show. I don't really have a lot else to say.
It was very cute.
Yeah, it was very cute. The blessings are interesting, like because this particular blessing, you tell it's rare, and then you find out that it's very rare because this blessing is supposedly given out about once every 50 to 100 years. So she is like incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
This is a very rare thing.
Extremely rare, yeah.
So like every 50 years, you get the god gorilla power.
Yeah.
So
I also and like I love how she's trying to go. I just have to fail this exam. That's all. I just have to fail this. And then she ends up not failing.
Which I gotta feel like is like it'd be very easy to just fail. You don't show up.
Yeah. No. There was a thing that was like she was ordered to do this.
She was ordered to, so she had to turn up. Otherwise, she would have been persecuted.
Which man, isn't that kind of
disobeying
the
the law?
literal government is like you have to do this shit.
Yeah, but it's just an interesting kind of look at it.
Compulsory
job. Role.
Basically, like
role.
When you're forced into the military.
Conscription?
Yeah, conscription.
Conscription.
One more thought.
Yeah, sure.
So, back to our best boys, or the boys, the reverse harem up in here. I find it interesting that our main boy is very obvious. Everyone else is attractive, but not overly so. Like, we're not getting really crazy designs or crazy hair colors. They're just a little bit more attractive.
Yeah. It's kind of it's like
muted, kind
understated.
of. Yeah, understated, kind of. Yeah, which is nice because generally it's just like you have like one girl, very attractive guys around her, and then everyone else is ugly.
And then they're introduced with like sparkles all around them.
And like the roses, which is like, it's a really nice
Actually, that did happen,
add-on.
didn't it?
It did
well,
happen.
with him.
It happened
had the
with
roses,
him.
but not everyone else.
I
see.
Yeah.
What do you think of scores?
I like it. I would say a 6 or a 7. So I'm going to put it at 6.5.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6.
Okay, I give it a 5. If it's not already clear, this show's not really for me. But I was expecting more of a, I guess, I thought the gags would be a little funnier. I feel like none of the gags are really that funny.
I wasn't looking for that. I didn't want that.
Which I thought, that's because that's what I thought it was going to be. Thought it was going to be a gag movie. It isn't, I guess.
I was actually pleasantly
pleasantly
surprised by the fact that there weren't so many
Exactly,
gags.
Me too.
Yeah. I guess I'm just not actually interested in this story at all.
That's fair.
But it's like it's a decent show. I think it's a decent show. It's a decent show. I think someone could have fun with this, which is why, like, I guess I'd still recommend it if you think this is for you.
Yeah, people who like romance animes.
I would definitely recommend
it. For sure.
Yeah.
So far, the romance aspect of it is, like, it's subtle. It's not, like, overtly in your face.
And they
it's
have,
just
like, a really good dynamic,
Yeah, because she's not, like, she's not kind of stuttering or going, oh, my God, and, like, massive red face. She's just kind of, like, endeared by the fact that he's so nice.
It's like, oh, he's hot.
Actually, it's more like, oh my God, he's beautiful.
He
looks like a girl.
This guy is a
he's beautiful.
Dear God.
Which I think is so funny. Actually, my advisor from college, he told us when we were reading parts of the Tales of Genji. He was talking about how isn't that what it's called? Wait,
I think you're right.
The Tale of Genji.
Is that the pretty boy?
Yeah. So he was talking about how he always had this theory that Genji was the start of like the pretty boy that is superimposed in Japanese media, because like attractive standards for men are very different in Japan than they are in the West, and that men who are masculine are considered attractive, but men who are very effeminate and cute are also considered attractive.
I think it's more,
it's a little but I mean, just as in like Roman times, here it was very common for men to sleep with boys. As a thing of being beauty, and then once they become an adult, it was like, okay, well now you're a man, I'm not gay, kind of thing. So that character, I don't know if it started maybe from that going onward, or if that had always been a thing, and that spawned
he was saying in media.
Yeah, in media, I guess. I see. Okay, I see what you mean. Like that popular,
just the popular trope of always having the pretty boy who's popular with all the girls.
Yeah, I see. Yes.
And ever since then, I've seen it everywhere.
All right. Well, cool. Let's spin the wheel.
Yeah, let's spin it.
The last And
I'm pretty sure we said.
I wonder what it'll be.
Yeah, I wonder.
guys, it's been a long journey. I
Yeah,
just
it
want to
has.
say that.
Are you gonna cry?
What are
now?
we all feeling about?
Are you
I'm
gonna cry
feeling
now,
really
Kringle?
hot right now.
Yeah, it's really hot.
There's stuff streaming down my face. They may be tears or they might be just sweat.
Might be sweat. I don't know.
Next, last one. Oh, wait, is it this one?
Oh,
is it
shit.
this one?
Oh, really?
It's this one.
I
Oh
wasn't
my-
expecting this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Dear God. So, what is the show we were watching? We were watching Kijin.
Kijin Gentosho.
Sword of the
Gentosho.
Demon Hunter.
Yeah, Sword of the Demon Hunter.
Number 28.
And our
Number
last show on
28.
this list.
Sword of the Demon Hunter, Kijin Gentosho. Studio Yokohama Animation Laboratory. I don't know a single show they did, but they have quite a few. That's what I put here. There was one that I saw that said like Genius Prince. Director Ayura Kazuya, who was director of Assassin's Pride. It was some isekai that came out recently, so maybe someone knows. Writer is Nakanishi Moto.
Where?
Motu here.
Motol.
So yeah, let's get that blurb.
Yes. Okay, so last blurb. Let's see if I can read this actually straight. So, after Jinta and Suzune run away from their home as children, they were taken in by Motoharu, the virtuous sentinel of Kadono village, and his daughter, Shirayuki. The settlement was ruled by its shrine maiden, Itsuki-hime, whom only a select few were allowed to interact with. When Itsuki-hime passed away, Shirayuki was appointed in her place. Wishing to stay in contact with her, Jinta worked diligently for years and was finally selected as the next sentinel. As the protector of the village, Jinta's duty is to eliminate any threats. One day, he encounters a demon in a nearby forest. At the end of the battle, the demon makes a proclamation about the destined ruler of all demonkind. He attaches his severed arm to Jinta, turning him into an unaging demon man. By the time Jinta comes to, Kadono is on fire. Suzune has transformed into the demon from the divination, and due to a series of misunderstandings, she murders Shirayuki and flees. Devastated, Jinta cannot forgive Suzune for her actions. He departs on a journey to find her. As Jinta travels around Japan across the eras, he endeavors to protect as many people as possible from aggressive demons. In his quiet moments, he contemplates what he should do when he once again faces his childhood friend.
Childhood friend? His sister.
His sister.
My sister, yeah.
So,
What do we think about this?
I think first we have to mention the fact that this episode was an entire hour.
Yes, this was
hour
it was like 58 minutes long.
Like kind of like the start to
me a
Oshinoko.
bit.
It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
entire
Yeah.
hour.
Shinoko was like
That was a
3
movie,
episodes
though.
long.
Well,
Yeah.
that was like a hour 20.
little
Anyway,
bit more.
regardless, it was a
Anyway,
long episode.
It was a very long episode.
I don't believe the format is long episodes. I believe it's just the first episode
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a start. I mean, it's the origins of where we're gonna get to.
it's
which is
a
later.
nice look at the backstory.
The
of how this
backstory
all came to
of
be.
yes of Jinta and like what led him, what the stakes are and everything. I'll be honest, I was pissed after I was so pissed at the cucking concept that came back up.
Oh my
Like,
God.
the cuck concept. No,
The cut concept.
you already kind of explained, I guess, in the blurb. It talks about like a little bit of the backstory. I just thought the concept that the people that are in love are like, oh yeah, we need to do this for the village, and it made no fucking sense
And
at
then-
all. So, oh my god, it's like I was so pissed watching this show. I was like, this is the dumbest bullshit. It spawned all of this. All the shit that happens was because they made the most brain dead decision to go, oh, I shouldn't marry you because I love you. I'm gonna marry the chief's like son because like I guess he'll be chief someday, and it's better to have the holy matron lady married to the chief when literally the last person that was the matron lady was married to the protector dude.
No.
No.
The other dude was also a protector. There were 2 protector dudes.
But there was a
Sentinel.
she was the daughter of him, and her mother was a protector girl.
Yeah.
So
No, there were 2 sentinels.
So there's 2
there are
sentinels.
2 sentinels.
Yes.
It's
I mean, what? It's still
Jinta
fucking stupid.
and
It's still
Jinta and the
stupid.
guy she was going to marry.
The guy she was going to marry, the Itsuki.
He was the second sentinel.
He was a sentinel.
Yes,
Then why
yes.
wasn't he with her like half the time with the sentinel thing? He just like left.
I think
because he
It's like he was
sucked
the
at his
only
job.
He sucked at his job, or they didn't make that clear.
I'm sure they did stuff in like shifts.
Regardless of the fact that like, okay, maybe he like marrying the Sentinel saying it was the dumbest fucking thing.
No,
I'm like,
it
this
was
is
stupid.
so fucking
Well, because
stupid.
then
there is a reason for it.
Then
No,
afterwards,
there wasn't.
No, there
There
wasn't.
There
Afterwards, the
was.
chief was like, "I just said that
Yeah,
because
he just said that, and you were
because I
idiots.
wanted my son to be happy."
Yeah, there was a reason that they were such idiots to fall into.
I'm pretty sure
the
there was another
reasoning
reason
of.
on top of that.
So what it made it actually a thing was the fact that it didn't matter at all. They were just idiots that decided to do that because of the fact that they thought that, oh, well, I guess this is the better thing to do, but they didn't realize the obvious intention, which is the chief is trying to get her to just marry him. Because he knows that the other guy likes her, but he also wasn't considerate of the fact that the dude literally hated the idea of marrying her, knowing that she actually loves Jinta. So it's like, I fucking hate these people. Everyone's making the worst decision possible.
Well,
But the bigger reason
from the Itsuki-hime's point of
pissed me
view,
off.
I believe there was the extra reason of Jinta is still technically an outsider.
Yeah, he's not from
He's
the
a- he's
village.
Yeah,
not
fuck that
from
shit.
the-
I don't care. That was
Yeah.
stupid. I just hate that. I hate that so much. Sorry.
It's still a consideration for it because her reasoning was she should marry into the village because it would make everyone, it's still kind of stupid.
It's like village politics.
I just hate that. I think there's some part of me where I get that that's the story. I think I just fucking hate that so much.
I think it makes a lot of sense with Japanese culture. I think
It
that would
really
be
does.
a very real thing.
I just hate it. Though I do love all the characters saying, like, what the is wrong? I love the demons.
Yeah.
I love the demons being like, look at these assholes. Look at these
I know,
idiots. Look
I
at these
know.
fucking idiots being like, we got to prioritize the individuals. Let's kill everyone. Yay! I was for the demons the whole time.
Yeah.
I wanted when the younger which was very interesting. With Suzune, there was a lot of interesting stuff going on.
that
I
was
guess.
really-
Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Pretty much when it came to Suzune being like, oh, I wanted him to be happy with this girl, so I'm going to like I'm not going to I guess show my feelings for my brother or whatever, because she was like in love with him. She's like, I've been holding off, I guess, from that.
I don't think it was. She was saying she was in love with him.
She's not. Suzune wasn't in love with her brother.
She just didn't want to share him.
Suzune's OTP was Jinta and Shirayuki.
No, so
she wanted them to get together.
She wanted them to go together, but they even said there was a line where they said specifically that she, as a demon, decided not to like grow up because she wanted them to be together and just be his sister. But when she found out that well, at least what she thought was that Jinta's getting cheated on. What she thought was him getting cheated on by the other girl. She was like, why have I been doing it this way when I could have just tried to be with him the whole time?
I don't think that's what it was implying.
I thought it. I mean, the fact they specifically mentioned the fact that she stopped her development, which to me was a strange.
I'm not arguing against that. I'm arguing against the in love thing. It was obvious she didn't want to share him.
No,
but
she loved him as a brother.
I guess I'm trying to say, why would you mention that I don't want to develop, like have a developed adult body?
No, it's because it changes the dynamic.
Yeah. She would have to move on from him.
Yeah, because
I almost feel like it was pretty positively like she was in love with him.
If she doesn't grow up, it doesn't change the dynamic between the two older ones and the younger sister. She will always be cared for, but it doesn't impact on his relationship with Shirayuki.
I disagree. I feel like I read that very differently, at least on what it was trying to go for. I feel like it was very clear that she had this weird perspective of being like in love with Jinta, that she was like, I'm going to, kind of in the same way that they were sacrificing the fact that they weren't going to be together. She was like sacrificing the fact that she knew what was best was for Jinta to be with the other girl, Shirayuki. So I think the element where the demon like showed her the fact that what's her name is Chiara and she's like getting sick. To me, that implied a lot more stronger feelings for the fact that Jinta was betrayed, or what she believed was being betrayed in that way, than it just being like, oh, my brother is getting cheated on. It felt a lot more like visceral.
I can see where you're coming from, but I think for me,
They even put a line in there. She loves him. Anyway, go ahead.
I think why she gets so physically sick, she has that visceral reaction, and it is pretty gross. Let's be real. But I think the reason she has this visceral reaction when she sees Shirayuki cheating on in quotation marks on Jinta with
the other guy,
who seems like a bit of a dickhead anyway. But he seems like a very big bit of a dickhead. But then when Shirayuki and him are actually talking in that scene, you're just like, okay, he's actually not that much of a dickhead.
He's actually like a pretty upstanding guy. I feel like
not
he's
bad.
the whole
No.
time he's like, this is wrong. This is not okay. Like this is fucked up.
Anyway.
So I was like in his court the whole time. I was like,
anyway.
I think the reason she has such a visceral reaction is because she loves her brother so much, and not in a romantic sense.
Yeah.
I
think she loves him so much that she's disgusted at the thought of anyone hurting him.
I think the one other thing, I guess the other thing of like what I was getting as subtext vibes too was the fact that when she is calling out, what is her name? Sorry, Shirayuki. When she's calling out Shirayuki, like confronting her, there's definitely this element of like, I guess, slut shaming. That I feel
definitely.
Like, there's this.
She literally called it.
I mean, well, it is literally slut shaming. But what I mean, I guess, by that is like, to me, it felt like coded a bit more that it was like she felt deeply betrayed by the fact.
Oh, she did. That was the thing. She felt betrayed, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a romantic sense. I think it was just concern for her brother.
So there's a few points.
I feel like we need
there's a few points that haven't been established. So when the clairvoyant demon first comes up to Suzune, she's like, "Oh, you're a really powerful demon for keeping yourself so small. He must be a good protector for you to think that you love him." Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it was very much, to me, it was implied that demons can't feel love, one. And that Suzune has tricked herself into thinking she feels familial love for her brother when he's just protecting her. So when things started developing, she's like, I've been working so hard to stay like this, to keep my relationship with my brother and to keep him happy because I care about him, and it's all been for nothing. Like
someone else has come in and with a wrecking ball and just
exactly.
I think maybe because I just read it that way, I'm like very tied to it, to like that being the concept.
The other thing is they did often mention that she loves him, but it always sounded like, for me, the Japanese always sounded like familial love.
Well,
it was all
when she
very
was a
familial.
kid, I felt more familial. I guess it was in the latter half that I was like, whoa, what? She like loves him, because the development thing was the thing that threw me off. That was what really threw me. I
understand where you're getting thrown, but what Krispy just said about her, Suzune is keeping herself small because Jinta is such a good protector. She thinks that
like she inspires that protective urge in him.
Well, she keeps herself small, so he is like her forever protector kind of thing. But
she's a forever little sister.
Yeah, but with the development of Shirayuki's betrayal, she basically, I feel like she then is just like, I have to step up and I have to take care of this for him.
And to me, the implication,
so getting bigger is then her way of going, okay, this is her like powering up because she's physically, she's
releasing the energy.
She's releasing her energy, which if you think about the child form and the adult form as like suppressing all her energy and keeping it tightly locked up, and then being able to use it as an adult form, then that I think makes a lot more sense.
And the thing about like the way Shirayuki is tied into it, the whole implication about like Suzune apparently not being able to feel real love, to me it read like she didn't give two fucks about Shirayuki because she can't.
She never did.
She can't feel that way about people. So she tolerated her all that time.
Which is kind of why like it comes out so strongly when she's like just like trying to fuck her shit up. Which of course then leads to Suzune cutting Shirayuki's head off. Which was like freaking nuts too, because Junta's like, "Oh, there you are, Shirayuki! Oh my god!" And then her head's just gone. And it's just like, "Oh my god!"
That was very
visceral. Very visceral. And the demons are sort of like led by this like prophecy, which is that Suzune will be like the demon lord or whatever in like 2023 or something. So that's a whole thing. I guess there's this part of me too where like there's this part of me where when Suzune's like it's okay, brother. I just killed that two-timing two-timing asshole. Of course, completely understandable. He's like gonna go fucking crazy. But there's this element where it's like this is all a big it's a big misunderstanding. I'm like, I feel like Suzune, as insane as she is a demon that is going off and crazy. But there is this like weird element where like she did try to like defend her brother in some way.
It really ties into the whole if it's true that she can't love people, Suzune, and that she feels indebted to her brother, like in the way that you'd like a weaker demon would feel indebted to a stronger demon for protecting them, basically like that. If you got that kind of vibes going on with it, it would make sense that.
Well,
it would make sense as to why her feelings for him they kind of read yandere. Her feelings are very yandere coded.
Which maybe is what I'm also thinking is why she actually
it's
loving him too.
It's yandere coded because she's just like, look, I did this for you, brother. I killed her.
Let's go back home. Everything's okay.
But that also ties into the whole emotion state of demons, like as to why she would think this is okay, because she can't. If she can't feel love, she can't feel emotions like ordinary humans can.
She can't understand.
She can't understand why her brother would be so upset.
Which, she was very confused.
Yeah, she was very confused, and her reaction was very childlike in a sense. She was just like, "Why?"
Yeah, she's like, "Well, I got rid of this. I got rid of this piece of crap for you."
And she was also like, what? That was dangerous. What did you do that for?
Yeah.
And she's like, whoa, again, wow. Like, you need to stop doing that, brother.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It was very, yandere psycho, kind of like not understanding why, but that really ties into the whole, if she's full on, like, can't feel love, can't feel emotions like ordinary humans do, that really ties it up.
Yeah. I think, regardless, she does care very strongly for Jinta, which then led to this, like, I guess, misunderstanding happening.
Which is, I thought it was an interesting twist that both him and Suzune are grieving each other, but in the way you're grieving the memory of that person.
Yeah.
Because they
like,
both betrayed the expectation they had of each other.
It's kind of interesting too, because he also says, like, before he sets out, he's like, he still loves Suzune in a way, but like, there's some part of him that can't forgive her, that will never forgive her.
Right.
But he does want to resolve things maybe peacefully somehow, that definitely added some points, I feel like, where I was like, okay, it's not just going to be like, I don't understand what she did at all. I don't know why she did it.
Absolute
I need to murder her. Then it would just be stupid. But I like that nuance.
Yeah, the description even says, like, in his quiet moments, he contemplates what he should do when he finds her.
What happens at the end of the day.
Which gives it a little bit more motivation than I think of just plain murder.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about the story. I have to say, the art style was interesting. It was a little more realistic than most. It wasn't well done. And the directing
very average.
Was awful. The directing was awful.
Shots were very boring, I feel like, looking at.
I had no idea when scenes were changing. It was like it was an absolute cut, like a dry cut to the next scene.
A lot of times in shows and stuff, there's usually going to be like a setting cuts to to kind of like change the setting, give a little space to each scene. And that was not really here.
There was no
a lot of times where they
in the show.
Also, they did a moment where they did, here's a time skip, and then they did another time skip without telling us it was a time skip.
Yeah.
So it was like, wait, what? Huh? What's going on? Huh?
Exactly.
I guess it's a time skip. Okay.
It was like, here's a time skip. So this guy's dead, and this woman's dead, and now this character you knew is doing the job that her mom was doing. But it's like, one, it's not explained well, but two, it's like, what? They were just kids a second ago. Like, what happened?
And everything's already established as them being people in this role now.
With the Itsuki Hime change, like the Shrine Maiden change, I was just like, wait, huh? Why is your sister has become adoptive sister has become Shrine Maiden? Like, when the hell did this happen?
No one seems to have any concern that the sister is still the same. Suzune is still the same.
No, that is a very interesting point.
Which I thought was going to be I thought that was going to be a plot point of it being like, oh, she's hiding it. People are going to find out, and then they'll be like, get the demon out of here.
Yeah.
No, that never happened. That was never a thing.
I was so confused because I was like, they have to be like hiding her identity.
Yeah,
but she wasn't. She was just like out. All the windows were open.
And she walked around town and stuff. Like, so the villagers knew that she's just like, I guess, a never-growing child.
It's been such a long time that, like, we've seen Jinta grow up from, like, 8-year-old or whatever, how old he was, to, like, young man.
Yeah.
Like, granted, they're probably looking at, like, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, maybe
judging by the time period and that sort of thing.
I figured they were,
though.
I figured they were at least, like...
older, though. He looked like almost...
20s at least.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Yeah.
Oh, wait, didn't they say 13 years? Or something?
It had been 13.
Didn't they say it was 13 years? They said when they went to the shop with that lady who had the dongle.
That is true, yeah.
They said something about 13 years, I think.
I don't know.
It might have been.
So they would have been like 20, mid-20s.
Mid-20s, basically. That just adds more criticism, like confusion to the fact of if his sister was like a couple years younger than him, she should at least be mid-teens by now, which doesn't make sense for her. Like, very childlike. So it would have been very. She looks like she still looks like she's like 5 years old.
Yeah, it would have been very clear.
Exact same as she was. She's wearing the same clothes.
Wearing the same.
She's exact same clothes. Yeah.
She hasn't changed in 13 years.
Yeah, which is like very like you can kind of understand it for like say a couple years, say in the teens, but like
even then, children grow so fast.
It's just very. Confusing
a small village would notice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was really confused about the world building. What is their relationship with demons? Because it's like One, nobody gave a shit about Suzune. They must have known she was a demon, except they
guess
hid
they
her
didn't.
eye
They
the
do
whole time.
imply that at least hiding her eye is enough.
But then Jinta is now a demon, and he's talking to the chief, and I'm like, oh, he must be hiding this. And the chief is like, oh, I guess you're a demon now, huh?
Yeah.
You should come back later.
Yeah,
You'll
you
be
should
welcome
come-
with open arms.
Yeah, that was like,
It's like, what is this
What is
relationship
happening?
here?
I guess they can kind of imply when the other girl was a demon in the original household where she was getting abused and whatnot.
Yeah, it's because
I guess like they did like they weren't just like we're straight up killing her. Instead, it was like I guess we have to hold on to this half demon girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say
or full demon girl. I guess I don't know. It was
she did. Suzune does seem like a half instead of a full demon.
That was another thing.
yeah,
He said, he said something about, I lost the sister that I had before. It implied that she used to be human.
Yeah, it does.
well. I think that has more to do with the fact that he thinks she's changed.
But it was like there was a flashback
Like she used to be the cute girl that he knew, and then and now she's like a murdering psychopath.
No, I think
was-
I think there was a flashback to when she looked completely human.
It was like it implied he had lost her a long time ago and didn't realize
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Then maybe there's something there. I was just really pissed by the very contrived sort of like we have to sacrifice our love for this stupidest reason, which is like they were too
Look,
dumb
I
to
was
even
I was
notice.
just like, that actually reads like that's pretty typical.
It's
I
very
think.
typical.
Normal
It still
Japanese,
pissed me off. It still
it's
pissed
annoying,
me
but
off.
it's annoying.
Even when
but
everyone
I
else was
understood- yeah.
screaming at them, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's an awful idea. I hated that. I don't know why that got to me.
I was like, okay, and moved on.
Yeah.
It's not like you can do much to change it, and it's just like, well, you can kind of understand it.
I guess
like
It was just very contrived. I just found it very contrived to create the plot.
I was like annoyed in the first place that Shiroyuki and Jinta were in love with each other in the
Yeah.
first place
Yeah,
because
really?
they had been adopted family, and it was like that's always the plot point in animes.
I mean, I don't know.
The adopted sibling becomes the love interest.
I feel that the fact, because I mean, like childhood friends are of course can be a thing.
it is a thing.
And
But
I feel like they grew up separately long enough.
It's just so prevalent
There was
in
definitely a
anime.
difference. But I feel like it was different than typical ones. I feel like him and Suzune were definitely siblings.
Well, yeah, they were
But it was still
blood
like it was still
siblings.
separate somehow. I feel like at that age, if I was a kid and I met someone for the first time. I mean, I've had crushes when I was that age when I
Yeah.
met someone for the first time at that age. That I feel like having the closest and growing up with someone like that, I don't think that would have
It's not-
made it more of a
But it's
sibling
not this
dynamic.
case in a vacuum. It's the point that this is always the trope in anime.
I guess on the surface of it, I didn't see a problem with it. It seemed pretty normal.
Well, we have case in point of the Shiunji family.
yeah, it's
season.
it's so prevalent in
I mean,
anime.
but that's actually, I don't know. That's actually, they grew up exactly as
that's
siblings
because-
the whole time.
That's because that's the mindset that a lot of conservative
Okay.
people have.
Nah, I think we're stretching it a little bit. I think we're
I
stretching this idea
I
a little
disagree.
bit.
There's a lot of.
I think we're
there's-
stretching it a little
There's
bit.
a lot of discussion
Let's,
about
well,
this.
let's just agree, disagree then.
Yeah,
don't
look, I
we're gonna be
think
able to rectify
I think the
that.
Shiunji family household in the
Very different context.
different context, but in the case that they're actually brought up from like babies in the same
Yeah,
household.
that's
Yeah.
very different.
Okay, so then at the end of that episode, they're immediately like, "Wow, you're attractive."
You're like, that's weird.
And you're like, that's weird. But like the fact that they've immediately jumped to that, it kind of indicates that in Sora the Demon Hunter, it indicates that they jump more to that because because it's not like they grew up from being babies. They didn't know that they weren't adopted.
Yeah.
There's this definite kind of split. Now, granted, I do see your point of like, if I lived with someone from like when I was like 8 years old, I would not consider them a love interest, but
Yeah.
tropes.
I just feel like if I was an 8-year-old boy and I had crushes on people,
Yeah.
that like if I was like, oh, like cute girl that I like, that I don't know, some random crush that I have, oh, we're living with them. I feel like that wouldn't go away with like maybe I would like suppress it or something, or maybe I don't. To me, that just I don't know. For some reason, that felt pretty realistic to me that could happen.
I guess,
I think it's
but
unlikely. I'll give you that it's unlikely, but I don't,
issue-
to me it didn't seem nearly as fucked as
No.
the
I'm not
Shinichi
saying
children.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it is an issue in Japanese conservative culture, and this is one of the instances of it just being not pushed, but it's just like the flippancy,
trope. Yeah.
flippancy about adoption and adopted siblings or adopted children. It's just one small instance that shows that
I see.
in a bigger picture.
I see.
You can't just look at things in a vacuum.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, how do you score this, guys?
How do we score this? After our discussion, I'm just like 7, 6.
Wow.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.
It was like, I found it pretty decent. It was pretty decently entertaining. I probably wouldn't continue it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I was pretty engaged. I
struggled to actually get through.
I was really thrown off by the direction. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was
the
really
pacing was really bad. The art wasn't great. I gave it a 4.
I feel like, honestly, I feel like for my feelings of how I hated some of the stuff, I feel like I gave it a 6 just out of the fact that it was I guess it was competent enough to be a story that like wasn't complete dog shit. No, I'm giving it a 5. I'm giving it a 5. I'm not giving it a 6. I don't know. To me, that whole thing threw me for a loop, and I was just like, this is stupid.
I think, yeah.
I just didn't like the characters either. None of the characters I found really interesting.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Susan,
fair.
I guess I liked her when she was like a kid. It was like some kind of cute moments. I did really like that they paralleled that scene when she's like, "Oh, you wouldn't hit me," kind of thing, and he's just
that was interesting.
He's like, shit, no, but fuck you. But then he does. It's kind of weird. I thought he would hesitate. Guess not. But it didn't do for me.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so would we recommend it?
If people like that kind of show.
If you want a period drama.
Yeah, period drama. That's a little more like not as anime-y style as Demon Slayer.
Yeah. I would say, I would recommend it for people who
Which is the other thing. It just kind of felt like Demon Slayer.
It kind of did a little bit, yeah.
It's like your little sister's a demon.
Your little sister's a demon. Oh,
and you're a demon hunter.
Oh, yeah.
But you're also, they've added you're a demon yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
that's true.
And now the little sister's evil, which is never the case with.
I don't even know if I'd recommend it. I just feel like I don't feel strongly enough about it to recommend it.
I just like if someone likes it.
If you like this, I think if you like this, you might like it.
Yeah.
You might not like the initial plot hook or why this has all come to this thing. All right, I guess with that, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll get back to what we think is the best show, the worst show, and the most forgettable, and maybe a few categories added in. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe.
Thanks for listening. Here's the shameless self-promotion. Prepare yourselves.
If you like what we were talking about, or maybe just had us on for some background noise, consider subscribing, leaving a comment, or dropping a like.
Let us know if there's a show you'd like us to discuss, or what you thought of this season's anime.
We hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are. That's all from us for now. Bye!
Bye! All right, so we're back, and we're here to discuss the very important question of today, which is, of these 42 shows, which was the best, which was the worst, which was the most forgettable, and maybe we'll have to discuss who best boy, best girl is.
Yeah.
So we're going to change up the order a little bit.
Maybe a little bit of that. Yeah, true.
Okay, so I think
we'll do
first,
a little out of order of what I just said, but hey, well, we're rolling with it.
Yeah, so first, I think we'll look at, say, forgettable, the most forgettable, because, it's the forgettable one.
Yeah.
We'll forget
We
about
should do that first.
I was actually about to forget. We had to do that one.
Yeah.
That would have been a problem.
Okay, so out of the 42 that we went through, what's the most forgettable, guys?
What did we watch?
I looked at it earlier during...
What did we watch?
a break.
I have one.
I see,
a
okay.
singular most forgettable show.
Yeah.
I struggled.
I think I unconsciously decided, like, a couple days ago which one was the most forgettable one.
Okay. All right. So altogether, for most forgettable, we had to talk a lot about this. I feel like took a long time for us. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Can a boy and girl relationship survive? Shit. All right, so let's just go around. Azumi, let's start with you.
Okay, mine was Compass 2.0, most forgettable. None of it was really remarkable for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a lot of nothing all at once.
Buzz Lightyear did it for me. That stuck out of my mind. Sorry.
Justice Hancock.
Yeah, okay, so what about you, Krispy? What was yours?
Mine was Teogonia. I was just generally bored. I think it wouldn't have been as forgettable if it weren't an isekai.
Oh, yeah, that definitely made it.
Yeah, I remember
worse.
We did talk about that. The isekai made it more boring.
Yeah, but it was just like in general, the pacing, the story, like the execution of the story was boring.
Yeah.
Ironic being it was the first one we discussed today. Mine was Can a Boy-Girl Relationship Survive? And this was actually by nature of being just, I actually would forget we watched the show. Like looking through the list, I actually was like, oh, I completely forgot about that.
Very generic
It's
anime
very,
style.
very generic anime. Nothing really stood out to me as being like interesting or of any value.
Yeah, I think that's where I have a slightly different opinion on that, because I was just like, I love the preserved flower resin stuff going on.
Yeah, but I guess for me that just just went over my head or something. And I think also if I was to kind of, I guess, put it into words, it's also the fact that because I'm just it's such a forgetful show. I'm blanking out on any of the details of the show.
Boy, the girl.
They are both a boy and a girl.
They are both a boy and a girl.
And
their friendship can't survive.
Yeah, they're just a friendship that can't survive. So
now that's forgettable shows out of the way.
Yes.
What about best show?
Best show.
Best show. I got a solid one.
All around. Okay? All around.
I have technically two answers, but they're for different reasons.
I have one answer.
Just one.
Solid.
Let's do our top one all together.
Okay. 3, 2,
1.
Yaiba.
Quacks.
Quacks.
I have no idea what you guys said.
So I guess I can start. I said Yaiba.
Okay.
I actually said Yaiba.
Oh, really?
I thought it was, and I want to say Jikuix Gundam is G-Quax Gundam. I will say is like, as a fan of Gundam, I do love, and that would guess what I mean when I say I had two. That one I love because I love Gundam, and I thought that was like a very perfect first episode.
Yes,
I feel like Yaiba though was a perfect episode in general, as a self-contained intro, and for what it sort of inspired from me as like a kid who loved those shows. Yeah. That for me was the top spot. Yeah. The direction was awesome, done by the Mob Psycho guy. Like, just so inventive, so fun. Colors were amazing. Characters were conveyed perfectly. That's my best. That's it. What would you guys say?
My top was Apocalypse Hotel.
Oh yeah.
I really liked it.
To me, it's just really great. It really deftly and succinctly explores how the world got to this stage, and then you get very naturally kind of drawn into these daily lives of these like hotel caretakers, and the environment is beautiful, the setup is beautiful, the characters are all like, they're all androids, but they have very nice personalities. Like they've got a lot of personality into it.
Yeah, I love
the doorman joke is great.
I love
it. Particularly coupled with the shampoo hat.
Yeah.
The hit the panic button, we've lost the shampoo hat, and I just loved it. Yeah. It was just one of those ones which just really hit the spot for me.
Yeah. Many of my same thoughts.
Yeah. What about you?
Mine was Gundam G Quacks. Yeah, it was so awesome. I'm a huge fan of Take, the designer's art style, and I have been for a while. So I kind of like came into this series already knowing that was going to be a plus for me. I'm not really into Gundam. The only other Gundam series I've watched was The Witch from Mercury. So I guess the fact that I liked it so much despite not knowing anything else about like this world building kind of speaks to how impressed I was. I thought the pacing was awesome. It was like engaging from start to finish. The art, obviously. The music was very good at like building atmosphere and like immersing you in the show, I felt. And then of course the social commentary it had, just scratched an itch in my brain. It's like I have like putting that in anime is going to elevate it above everything else for me.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, I think, but probably more than anything, I just love the art so much. It's so gorgeous, and especially like the ending song. It's so cute and spunky, and the art is so pretty. Just everything about it was like so astounding to me. I loved it.
Yes, yeah. Many of my same thoughts too. That was really, for me, it was neck and neck with Yaiba. I feel like Yaiba as just, maybe the production was just a teeny bit higher for me.
I can see that.
I love that too.
Yeah, I can also agree that Gundam, the new Gundam this season was really good. And as I said when we were discussing it, I have no idea about the Gundam universe.
Yeah, of course, that's fine. That's fair.
Yeah, the same as Krispy. I have only ever seen Witch from Mercury.
Yeah.
I love mecha anime. I've watched a few of them. I forget what they are right now because that's what happens. But it's really cool. I loved it.
I guess that's the other thing is I don't usually like mecha anime that much. Like I've watched several. and a lot of times it's like, I guess it's like I'm waiting for the mecha fights to end to get to the good stuff, in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah.
But like Witch from Mercury and now this one, like it's the kind of story and pacing that I think elevates the mecha aspect of it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with those thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. So we had
okay.
so it was Apocalypse Hotel, Gundam, and
Yaiba.
Yaiba. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is kind of forgettable for me, but we'll leave it at
You
that.
almost forgot that I mentioned. No, yeah, that's good.
Okay, next.
Yeah. Let's do next. Okay. All right. It's the moment you all been waiting for. We are going to have to do what's the worst show this season.
What's the worst show?
So I think there's gonna be a lot of debate on this. So I think we should
We're really
first.
torn.
It's important this time we also say it all at once. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Everyone ready? 3, 2, 1.
I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire.
What the f-
I never would have expected this.
That was nuts. That was
That's
crazy. Good sync right there. That was actually kind of nice.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be a surprise to
Beautiful
anyone.
harmonizing.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. I think if you watch the rest of the reviews, you know that we're pretty critical of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of things to say
Yeah, we did.
on a lot of it, and it's a stinker, folks. It's really rough.
Yeah.
It's really bad. So I don't know. I mean,
I think we can probably just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I think we can leave it at that. I
we
think
already
you-
talked about why we didn't like it.
I think you have our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. We don't
didn't like it.
recommend
Didn't like
Stay as far away as you can. But if you enjoy it, whatever. Please don't
if
let us
that's your
get in the
thing,
way.
go for it.
Then you can have fun watching it, like a giant
Yeah.
pile of burning trash. But anyway, okay.
In a nice way.
In a nice way. I
but-
mean,
but
I'm sure
that's
that
Kringle's
smells.
opinion.
Anyway. All right. So next on the docket is, and I think we should just go into this naturally. So next on the docket is going to be very controversially
Yes.
best boy and best girl discussions.
Start with best boy.
Best boy. All right. I don't think we're gonna do all three at once. Maybe we just kind of say each.
Yeah, discuss.
And let's just have it more freeform.
Okay.
So, Krispy, would you like to lead us out?
My best boy was the doorman robot.
Yes!
Of Apocalypse Hotel.
Yes. All right. Yes.
Okay, my best boy, I think, just at the moment, because I'm just like, who is the best boy? Who did I watch? Because there's like
You have to
42
think
of them.
about it more.
Yeah, I really have to think about it. I'm literally, so for reference, I'm literally scrolling through the list of titles we've watched, and I'm just like, I have no idea.
Wait, so Kringle, what about
Wait.
Mr. Hancock?
Oh,
So, he's the best. He's best man.
Oh, he's not a boy.
He's not a boy no more with the last name Hancock.
I see. Oh, true.
No, but I also would agree. I think best boy's doorman. I do want to give a little shout out to my boy Kurt. To my boy Kurt throwing up the paint, drywall, the wall, getting that shit working. I think I gotta give it to my boy Kurt.
True.
I think the doorman. I think your vote for him is very important, and I think he has a lot. He's a very respectable person, but I do think Kurt, he just gets shit done, and he's not too over the top about it.
We need a
he's a pure
collab
boy.
between Doorman and Kurt.
Yeah.
they would work.
Doorman
so
and
well
Kurt,
together. Yeah.
Kurt probably would feel like he's bad at opening doors.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but I'm basically the same. Doorman was really cool. A close second and third for me were Kurt, obviously. From
Kurt's great.
What's he from? The
Unaware Atelier, yeah.
Atelier. And also a close third actually is Harold from Your Former.
Really?
Just-
wow.
because
he's hot.
Interesting. He is hot.
Okay, it's because he's hot.
Oh,
there's
no,
great
he's
flirt-
hot.
there's great relationships between the characters, and there's good like flirting and all this kind of banter,
Okay.
Yeah,
which is
true,
just really
true.
fun to listen to.
All right.
And you know, he has a great voice.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
He does
Yes.
have an amazing voice. Shit, he'd be getting me weak, and then he's selling jewelry. I mean, hey, fuck. Well, yeah, so I guess that was pretty succinct then.
Yeah.
Best boy
Yeah.
we kind of had. Yeah, so Doorman, Kurt, and so
Harold.
Doorman from Apocalypse
Right.
Hotel, Kurt from Unaware Atelier,
And Harold. Yeah.
from Your Former.
From Your Former. Yeah.
All right, well, then let's get into Best Girl.
Best girl.
Let's see. I know. I have mine. I have mine ready.
I have.
This is a hard one for me. I'm just like, there's too many good girls in this.
Too many good girls.
Too many good girls.
I'm just like, what by what criteria?
mine
am I
have
judging this?
Two.
Mine's way in the stratosphere above everyone
Really?
else. Way above
Wow.
anyone else.
I have two, I feel like. At least.
Okay, well, you go while I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
What about you, Kringle?
Mine is Anne Shirley.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
great.
That's
like
fair.
it like makes the show. Like it's literally about her.
Yeah.
And like getting to know so much about her character and all that stuff just makes her a very endearing person. And like I don't know, just very fun and like interestingly written character. I guess I feel like she's best girl this season in that sense. But what do you guys think? You just want to have more time?
So my first thought was Kiriyama from Mono, the friend with the pigtails.
Oh yeah.
She
She's
was
fun.
so funny and spunky and cute. I just loved like whenever she would talk. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to hear what she's gonna say.
She's
next.
fun. Without her, the show would certainly have been not as good.
I know, exactly. But then my other thought, looking through the list, I really liked Philia from The Two Perfect Saint. I thought she was a really endearing main character.
Yeah, I agree with
that was actually my first kind of thought was Philia from The Two Perfect Saint.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you do have this kind of like she is the main character, so there is going to be a lot of story focus on her. Like it's not like kind of like because I was listening to what you two were saying, and it's just like they bring a lot of like. And sure, Anne is also the main character, but they bring a lot of like there's very much a kind of focus on them. They bring a lot of stuff to the anime, and that's the same with Philia. She is a really decent character. She's really cool, and the OP-ness really helps. Like I love that kind of thing with characters. I'm a sucker for OP characters. It's great.
Yeah.
The other one I'd say is probably give me a second, Sophia. Sophia Rilla from the Gorilla Gods Go To Girl.
Yeah, she was so sweet.
She's just really sweet, and it's really nice.
I like that. Yeah, I think maybe the only other shout out I have is the is Yachio from Apocalypse Hotel.
Yeah, that was
I really like Yachio from Apocalypse
Hotel.
You really want to root for her, and
was awesome.
and her whole sort of becoming more and more stressed out and everything by the end and just exploding was just like a great little character.
It
made me really
was.
want to root for her for all that stuff. So I would say she's a good like mention.
Yes, honorable mention.
Now the only other thing, unless you guys had any other thoughts,
nope.
On the only other thing, just kind of as an offhand, is if we want to do this, art style. Favorite art style.
Art style. I have one. I have one which comes to mind very easily.
Do you want to lead us out then?
Yeah. The one which I have in mind, which is like it's from this list. It's what immediately pops up when someone says best art, and that is Kudon. Kudon generic romance.
Generic romance. Okay.
What
made you think that?
I was just smitten with it from the. I was smitten with it from the start. The details of like. The slightly, the almost realistic yet not realistic backgrounds combined with the animation of the characters, especially like with the details where she puts her glasses on and then you can see her eyes, and just all that sort of detail and like the attention to detail is really great.
Yeah,
I just love it.
Yeah. Chrissy, what do you think?
This is difficult for me because I really love the uniqueness of the art style and the just spectacular like animation direction of the animation pacing of Yaiba and Anne Shirley. But I think I have to give it to Gundam.
Yeah.
Because just for me, like Take's art style is just like so like iconic to me. And I think more than Yaiba and Anne Shirley, I felt like the art was a lot more just like everything was gorgeous, like the backgrounds, and it was I think the fact that it was in a fantasy setting elevates it more because there's more to play with, and like especially the slum area, it was like the backgrounds were just so like not realistic, but like telling of the kind of area it was.
Yeah, it's whole story.
Yeah, and just the colors, the fluidity, the spunkiness of the style. I have to go with Gundam.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm there with you because I love Yaiba. There is a part of me though where I guess for my taste in character designs, Yaiba is obviously dated a little bit. I think it was represented and very inventively used. But as like a personal taste thing, I think the character designs and just the overall flow and compositing that we got from the Gundam G-Quux. God, I'll never get used to that. Was just so good. It was so good. Yeah, Take's art. I'm pretty much mirroring just what you said.
Yeah.
So It's good. Very good. Yeah. So I guess that's us. And holy shit, y'all, we did it. We did 42 episodes. A ridiculous amount of time. I think
ridiculous.
It was about watching through these was about like 17 hours of stuff to watch. That was just watching it, not including all the times you got to pause for notes and all that other stuff, or the time you have to spend on notes.
True.
But we did it. And of course, all the time recording.
All the time recording.
And editing.
Yeah.
God, dear God.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Dear God.
Dear
all
God.
right. So
Good luck.
good luck. Well, I hope you guys all loved what I hope you loved it. I hope you really loved what we talked about
Yeah,
today.
you better.
And I guess any final thoughts from any of you guys?
Final thoughts.
This was so many anime. I don't want to do this again.
Thank you for saying that. I really wanted to say, yeah, it was rough, y'all.
It's
It's
rough.
rough out there.
Like I can't
was
imagine.
fun, but-
I can't imagine how this would have been if we included the Chinese anime and the shorts and
Oh
everything
God,
else.
dear God.
I have to say, I think I liked it actually because I watched a lot of anime. I would have just not watched, but
That's very true.
That is true.
I would like never have watched.
Very true. Yeah.
There's a lot of anime that I see that I'm like, oh, that looks fun or cute, but I just never get around to it.
Yes,
But then there's
yes.
anime that I'm never gonna watch that.
Yeah.
But I had to watch it this time, and I think it brought good perspective.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd agree. I actually agree.
Yeah, I'm like that. Like, especially with like, I think I talked about it when we were in the middle of actually talking about it. The Gorilla God's Go-To Girl. Like, the title for me is just like, I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah,
But then I watched it and I'm just like, I actually want to continue this.
Or
You
like
know?
for me,
Yeah, yeah.
like Catch Me at the Ballpark was like such a. It was out of left field.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I
the
was not
baseball
expecting to enjoy
If
that.
we
so
had like a
much.
greatest surprise, I would have said that was it. I
think
was most surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was very
liked
good.
it.
It was quite good.
Yeah, I mean, hyperbole aside, I had fun going through these.
Yeah,
there was definitely a lot of like stinkers in there, but like sometimes it is just fun to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
through some of this stuff.
See what's out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
I
out
think
there,
I think it's really interesting to see like when you start watching the anime for a new season, you're just like, okay, I'll choose the ones which look really interesting to me,
Not every
right?
single
Right,
one.
yeah.
So
Not
then
every
you kind
single
of
one.
sometimes you can end up missing like diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's-
it's kind of fun of watching.
And it was a good exercise in seeing shows that I just didn't like, but there were things from it that I was like, you know what, that was actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of. I mean, at the end of the day, we're looking at the true breadth of the the true breadth of the art form, and all of its kind of like it's good things and it's bad things, and it's kind of fun. It's good, I think, from an analysis perspective to have those sort of different types of works to have to go through. It's good exercise, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was fun, and we all hope that you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, tune in next time for not a whole season.
Something else.
Tune in next time for something else, and who knows? Maybe we'll have a comic.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you at Comiket.
Yeah, maybe we'll actually get the Comiket without dying like that guy in Shinohio.
Yeah, and
Oh, in Shinohea, yeah. Definitely don't want to be that guy. So I think with that, I'm Kringle.
I'm Krispy.
I'm Azumi.
And we are
The Comiketeers.
See you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.